Now we are live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show.
How you doing, guys? Welcome to the show. Thank you for watching and rewatching. We're going to be starting on a deep dive into Onision, or other people call him Onion Boy, or other things. Let me just put up. Why don't you start the video so you can put the screen to show his face to
Oh,
people while we
oh,
read the article?
okay. This is probably not the flattering of pictures, but hold on.
Well, you know what? He deserves it. He's a piece of shit.
There you
Anyway,
go.
all right. So originally, we talked about Onision. We mentioned him a bunch of times during the whole discussion of Chris Hansen. We discussed, how he did his quote unquote investigation of
hmm
Onision. So we figured, why not make a talk about deep dive into Onision? Another interesting thing about Onision is that he is being sued for allegations of grooming. And
hmm
also, not only is he being sued, but YouTube is also named in a lawsuit.
Yeah, about
Um,
3 months ago, they finally did it.
yes. So a lot of people have talked about it. So I'm just going to read the Rolling Stones article so as to
hmm
get people abreast of it. This is kind of the main reason why. Sorry about the spam. I'm going to have to click out of the damn spam they keep on throwing at you. So the article is the controversial. It's called "The Rolling Stones: Controversial Former YouTube Star Onision Sued for Alleged Grooming." So, the disgraced former YouTube star Onision has been accused of using his popular YouTube channel to quote recruit, solicit, and groom end quote underage children into having sex with him, according to civil lawsuit filed in federal court Wednesday, which is 3 months ago Wednesday. Wednesday's case is the first known legal action to be taken against the YouTuber following several allegations of abuse grooming in 2019. Onision, 37, also known as Greg or James Jackson, did not reply to Rolling Stone's request for comment, but he has consistently denied claims of abuse and grooming. According to plaintiff Regina uh, Alonso Jackson, and his spouse Lucas Jackson used the channel's popularity to groom Alonso from age 14 to 17, encouraging Alonso to send flirty and messages, naked photographs. The three began dating, according to the lawsuit, with the intent to solicit sex from Alonso during a suggested visit to Jackson's home in Washington State. Alonso claims the relationship caused her serious physical and psychological harm. Jackson first joined YouTube in 2006 under the name Onision. He became well known in 2010. So this is kind of like a bio. We'll get into it, but I'll read a little bit of it. Known in 2010 for several viral videos, including, quote, a banana song and other parodies themed sketches. He attracted many young followers by posting videos about, quote, body image, appearance, self identity, and suicide ideology. All topics that helped him appeal to a young girls, questioning their self-image or identity, or seeking answers and guidance. According to the lawsuit, at the height of his popularity in mid 2010, he ran several additional accounts, had at least 2 million subscribers on his main account, Onision YouTube page. But for a creator of his size, his main draw was his close interaction with fans. One moment.
Hey, Earth Exposure Files. How are you? I
Going.
hope you're doing well.
One moment.
Yeah, take your time. It's fine. There's a lot going on when it comes to an ECon, so there's going to be a lot. There's a timeline.
Yeah, there is a timeline.
Yeah,
So,
it's a lot.
sorry about that. I stopped for a moment. Uh, but for a creator of his size, his main draw was his close interaction with his fans. I read that part. In 2012, Jackson began messaging with the 17-year-old Lucas. Lucas, who was gone by several names and is identified by a previous name in the lawsuit, was Onision's fan and became a major part of the channel content. After their 2012 marriage, according to the lawsuit, Jackson, with the help of Lucas, used his online forums to connect with younger fans and groom them. Now, I think this is Kai, right? Lucas is Kai.
Yes, sorry, I muted my microphone so you could read without everything
So
in the background.
yeah, that's
So
fine.
Luke,
Yeah, you go.
there's Lainey turned into Sky, turned into Lucas. So we're talking about the same person here. This is Onision's wedded partner. That does identify as I think he now.
Yes.
But if you hear the name Lainey, Kai, or Lucas, that is all the same person. I know it's going to be confusing. Hey, Mom, how you doing? Hey, Des. Hey, Mama.
Yes.
But it's all the same person.
Don't troll me, Earth. This is going to be tough enough. I'm dealing with the ultimate troll here, Onision. So let me see. According to the lawsuit, Jackson, with the help of Lucas, used his online forum to connect with the younger fans and groom for sexual acts in relationship with the couple. In 2019, Jackson and Lucas were accused by several women of grooming them while they were underage. 6 other women who had past relationships with Jackson also came forward and accused him of abuse. Jackson denied allegations on his YouTube page several times, but in November 2019, he was banned from Patreon for violating their doxing terms by posting one accuser's cell phone numbers online. In particular, let me see. Just so you can get an idea of him. Can I do a share screen? I'll do a share screen or something. I want to show you his reaction to when.
Do I end my share screen or?
Yes, you end your share screen. Yes.
There we go. So
I'm going to show you a short reaction of him getting mad about. I'm going to show you. Yeah, I'm going to show you his short reaction of when he found out his Patreon was stopped, and you will see if this man is sane. There's going to be a little bit of like edits in it. Let me see. One moment.
Mind you, all this is happening, and it started to take effect, like legal-wise, about 3 months ago. And people have been exposing this man since 2018.
No, longer than that.
2016? I'm getting my numbers.
16, I think, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. Hey,
okay,
Julie.
So when his Patreon was canceled because he revealed a cell phone number, he decided to go live with this. Now, there's going to be a little bit of edits because some people make fun of him, but you're going to see a man who's going to be very sane, very calm and collective, and he's going to really show us, what you should do when you find out bad news online. So what's
live reaction?
Yeah, definitely a live reaction. Let's do that.
Oh, well, our opinions have been invalidated so many times of him that we're gonna disable his Patreon.
The song in the background is the person obviously editing it, putting it in the background.
Wow, you would really do that. You would really do that. You tried to do the FBI, didn't work. You tried to do the police, didn't work. So instead, you resort to the paycheck, and you got it. All my patrons have been deleted.
Oh,
are you happy? No! You want a total meltdown? You like kombucha? I love
kombucha, yeah.
Kombucha! Drinks like pee and smells even worse. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do now? What am I gonna do now? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I'm covered in kombucha and I have no more Patreon.
So that was his reaction to his Patreon being taken down.
Yeah, it does. I can't stand him either. He's a narcissist. Let's be real. My opinion, he's a narcissist. And
a groomer.
And a groomer, yes, and that's not even an assumption at this point. This is an opinion. That is
he is 100. I mean, like, I'm not even worried about being sued by him. He has no money because he spent it all. But like, he is definitely a groomer.
Exactly what Des says. He is. I feel like he grew up without anybody ever saying no to him. But mind y'all, before he did the whole big YouTube career, he was in the Air Force.
Yes,
He never
and
saw
he was.
combat, mind you, though. He never
Yeah,
saw
he
combat.
was. What was? Let me see.
He
Yeah,
was
he did. He
honorably discharged.
no, he wasn't.
Generally, though.
He was generally discharged.
Yeah,
not
that's what I
honorable.
mean. Yeah, like I
Yeah.
was reading it how it was, but yeah.
But he was like constantly lying that he was honorably discharged.
Mm-mm.
What
Same
he
thing.
and he did like a lot of crazy things to try to like fucking be discharged. I know like a couple of things he did, right?
Onision, Julie.
Yeah.
That we're talking about.
Onision.
Yeah. This is a rabbit hole.
Yeah. So let's continue. After he found out about his Patreon, he did that reaction afterwards. But the reason why he was removed from Patreon is because he doxed one of his accusers, who he groomed, and put their cell phone number out there. So obviously Patreon.
Do we know
booed
which
him.
one?
Doesn't say in the article. I don't remember who.
Okay.
And honestly, I mean, like, I don't know. It's kind of for a while. January 2021, a Discovery Plus documentary, and that's To Catch a Predator. Chris Hansen presented to claim of Alonso and the two of other women who alleged Jackson had groomed or abused them, and then used his fame and YouTube notoriety to undermine their stories and encourage harassment. A day after the series finale, Onision announced he would be leaving YouTube because his channel had been demonetized. In a screenshot shown in a now deleted video statement from YouTube, quote, "We are also concerned about continued allegations of off-platform behavior related to child safety that could cause significant harm to the community, violating our creative responsibilities guidelines with our YouTube partner program policies. These guidelines explain that we don't allow egregious behavior that has large negative impact to the community. Therefore, we have determined that your channel, Onision Speaks, and Bro, will be identified suspended from YouTube partner program and no longer eligible for monetization." YouTube also named as a defendant in the lawsuit. The lawsuit alleges that by continuing to monetize Jackson's channel, even after several journalist users notified them of the allegations, YouTube profit shared with Onision channel. It also alleges that by demonetizing Onision but not removing the channel or its videos from the platform entirety, YouTube is still profiting from the content. Now, what do you think of that? Do you think YouTube has an obligation to remove him? I know we're jumping a little bit ahead because we have to go through his life, but we read the article, obviously.
I think it's YouTube's obligation to keep its platform safe and to at least investigate the situation and then make a call after their investigation. They can get the police involved. This is grooming. This isn't, oh, somebody stole content or, you know, this is kids in danger. You know?
I guess now you can start your video again. I'm sorry, I needed to read that.
No, you're fine.
And you can start that video to give a little bit of a summary. And then we'll go into the Right Opinions video and go through a couple of things.
Yeah. This video is from Alan Spicer. It's a short video, but it sums up, you know, the majority of what's going on, what led us to here, like a little brief bio. It's about 4 minutes long. Drop
the link in the description.
That's what I'm doing now. And here is his YouTube channel. So all credit goes to him. This is his work, and thank you, Alan, for, you know, making a short video that kind of sums it all up. And
not all of it, but just because you're
not all of it, but kind of like, where the fuck is he now? But here.
Onision, real name Gregory Jackson, is very well known on this platform for striking down videos. So if you're able to see this video, please hit like and share so it's shared around before it disappears. Onision started his YouTube channel in 2006, initially posting videos about his life experiences, a little bit of comedy. Over time, the channel grew in popularity. He was there at the birth of the platform. He touched upon controversial topics including me forgetting to put my glasses on at the start of this video, mental health, relationships and social justice issues. Onision gained a huge following, which spun into other channels. Basically, he would either review your body, talk about controversial topics, upload rants, it could be songs, it could be...
Mm-hmm.
So when he says review your body, he not only reviewed actual women, but he also reviewed teenage girls. He has said, such lines that this person could be 14. Who cares? And he's
weird.
Yeah, he also had a whole website. Literally, I think had photos of a bunch of underage women.
It was like
women, girls, actually teenagers, underage teenagers.
They're about like 15, 14, 15 around there.
Yeah, and he would quote unquote rate their bodies on there, and YouTube did not do anything about it, even though there was about a dozen videos made about that situation. And I think the website closed down eventually. He closed it down himself.
Yeah, he had a lot of websites, but we'll go through those too. Like it's a whole y'all. But yeah, he did rate, and instead of being a mature person and going, oh, we're gonna rate bodies, but if you're under the age of 18, me personally, if you're under the age of 21, you're not involved in this. And I do tell, instead of, give an announcement or something, but he goes, oh well, is basically how he made it sound. Like, oh well, a 12-year-old sent me a picture of her body.
And not only that, he did that, he used to actually put it on the person's face on his YouTube channel. It was just fucking weird. But anyway, let's just continue the video. I'm sorry I did a uni rock.
You're fine.
Weird kind of skits. These skits would include his friends, his collaborators, his girlfriends at the time, his girlfriends, boyfriends, partners. Really is very, very muddy, in which I'm sure I can link down below into even more deep dives. Over time, his erratic behavior seemed to have attracted attention. And although his demographic was quite young and quite feverish, almost cult-like, over time, it started to become a bit creepy. And this is where the creepiness, art imitated life. Onision has been wrapped up in many controversies over the years. Allegation of emotional abuse, manipulation, sexual misconduct, including minors. Now, with America, they have different age laws dependent on what state you happen to be in. So the idea of talking to a 16-year-old and inviting her into a state in which consensual sex is 16, not 18, America has this grey kind of feeling. In the UK, 16 is the age of consent, but I generally believe that you're not really truly an adult until you're like 18, 21, that kind of thing. So
I think we can all agree with that. I mean, even me, I'm like, if at my age, I'm 38. I'm kind of like, oh, you have to be 25 or older.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. And also, it's like he's shown, you're going to see a lot of videos where he particularly researched the laws when it came to relationships in certain states and purposely kind of avoided breaking them. And he would just basically literally you turn the age of consent, he would try to sleep with you. Yep. He was just that type of guy. He's very smart when it comes to avoiding going to jail in those regards. Unfortunately, he got away with it a lot of those situations. Some kids aren't mature enough at 18, most. Agreed. And this is a guy who would prey on... this is a guy who just kept on going after 17, 16-year-old, I would consider kids. While he's in his late 20s, almost 30s. It's fucking crazy. And he used his platform to basically attract these younger kids, I would say, younger teenage kids, to get into a relationship. And then he would use Kai as, later on you go, to get to them. But you continue.
But real quick, why does anyone want a random to rate their bodies? Like nobody really wants that, but you got to understand, back then, Onision was a big deal on YouTube. He was even on Tosh.0. So these kids, they're kids. This is why people should not groom kids. They don't know better. And they would be like, okay, rate my body. He's going to talk about me on YouTube. That's what they were thinking. They weren't thinking logically because they're kids.
You can understand why there was a weird kind of taboo behind the idea of him seducing and being sexually active with 16-year-olds. In 2019, there was a documentary called The Onision Files released. This detailed some of the allegations against Gregory, his behaviour towards young women, and this led to significant backlash. I mean, he'd been on the platform for an extended period of time. It'd always been that weird, quirky, dirty, creepy side of YouTube that YouTube does have, unfortunately. But this shone such a spotlight that YouTube finally started removing his ability to make a living from the platform. Bearing in mind that he'd been doing it since 2006, he'd had millions of views, viral songs, he'd made income, he'd bought multiple houses based on this income, so he'd done fairly well. But now YouTube noticed that there's something seedy, something weird. And this is when they started demonetizing his channels. I believe he's got 3 or 4 with multiple, like hundreds of thousands, if not.
You want me to pause it?
No, I'm just, you continue.
Oh, okay.
I was saying that's true.
Yeah.
Subscribers. Once YouTube demonetized him, other platforms followed suit. He was removed from Patreon and Twitch, in which he then started his own OnlyFans and started doing adult-based content on there. Bearing in mind that if you've been courting younger people in 2006, and it's now 2022, that's 16.
Mm-hmm. Actually, Discovery. What happened was he got kicked off Patreon. We saw his reaction when he got kicked off Patreon for doxing someone. And then when the Discovery documentary came out, because what happened was, you watched the Chris Hansen version, basically Chris Hansen came to the platform, someone informed him of Onision, he started going into the background of Onision, talking to other content creators that covered Onision for a while, and also proceeded to do interviews with past victims of his grooming. Now, we have our criticism of Chris Hansen, but because of his connections or his past connections, he was able to take that content and his interviews and present it to Discovery. Now, it was a shit show. The Discovery documentary was not good, but what it did was it put them in the mainstream and made YouTube kind of realize this guy existed, and kind of embarrassed YouTube. Yeah.
Mind you, The Right Opinion, we're going to watch with some of his content. He made 3 or 4. 3
hour and a half long.
Yeah, and each one is like an hour and a half long, and that was a lot better than Discovery Plus.
Yeah, the Discovery Plus was basically what they did was, there were a lot of criticism was that they just basically took YouTubers' content and they just gave Chris Hansen kind of the credit, in my opinion. They acted like...
didn't ask the people, though.
They didn't ask them if they wanted their content to be used for the documentary. They also, Chris Hansen, they lied, pretty much like misled people. They made it sound like like everyone loved Onision, but when Chris Hansen came along, he turned the tides, and that was a lie. He was being outed for years before Chris Hansen came around. And the truth of the matter is, the main reason why Chris Hansen covered that story was because he was down in his luck. His Kickstarter was not successful. He didn't really fulfill his Kickstarter. And this is a man who was in incredible debt, and he was looking for a comeback. And he started a YouTube channel, and he started doing. A lot of people liked him in the beginning, and someone recommended, hey, Onision grooms people. This would be a guy you should cover, and he covered him. Now, I will give Chris Hansen some credit because of him. A lot mainstream people got notice of Onision, and it might have been the nail in the coffin when it came to YouTube monetization. But though his YouTube monetization was taken away, YouTube still allowed him and still allows him to have his channel on the platform. Even though this guy is a known groomer who has groomed multiple girls, I would say. I keep on saying
his married partner was 15 when they met. Just to put it nicely.
Yes,
that's an omission from Onision himself.
Yeah, I mean, at one point, Kai groomed herself, a girl that was 14 years old. I didn't think it was
Billy or Sarah?
Billy. No, I think it was Sarah. Sarah, who was 14, they were talking, and at one point they were she was showing, while she was 18, or when she got a little bit older, she was actually 18, she was showing her naked body, like certain parts of her topless or something like that, exchanging lewd photographs with an underage minor. That's why that laptop situation was very important, because the laptop could have had information that would have revealed information that could have led to the arrest of Kai. But because it was so mishandled by Chris Hansen and his crew, and that was held by him and never went straight to the FBI, it was never used for that purpose. That was another debacle by Chris Hansen. But that's just a jumping ahead. But we can play it. Sorry,
No, you're good. No, you're good.
Years that they've grown up, so if they've liked this dude, then they're possibly old enough to join OnlyFans. Now, in 2021, Onision was charged with possession of what I only like to refer to as CP, which he pleaded not guilty to. There's currently other civil suits against him, including one which I found paperwork filed on the 2nd of March 2023. Since all these controversies, his popularity has taken a huge kicking, his reputation as well, rightly or wrongly, in all honesty. He continues to make income on OnlyFans, he continues to make income externally from YouTube. He's uploaded the odd video to YouTube, odd as in sporadic, not odd as in weird. But this just goes to show that the wild, wild west of YouTube has come to an end. The creepy weirdness that you could find on the platform is slowly being chipped away. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect.
I disagree with
Gregory
that.
Jackson is gone for now, but for how long? What a collapse and what a fall from grace. If you want more of these videos, check out this playlist here.
I do recommend y'all, subscribe, like content. He's a good creator. And this is all the video. He summed it up in 5 minutes.
Yeah, listen, that's a challenge of its own.
Yeah, when it comes to Onision.
I mean, he obviously. I mean, and the thing is that, for instance, let me see. Now, the guy has a lot of history. The one of the history is that he used to do a lot of when he was in high school, forums, basically,
Right.
Yeah, a lot of them. Weird forums. He even tried to create his own religion.
A cult.
Yeah. Let me just let me see. Matter of fact, let me pull up. I'll do a screen share, and I will go to the religious part. Let me just see. One moment. We'll skip the religion.
Oh, anytime, Julie. We try to make sure that everybody, since we're a reaction channel, we really do try to be on top of it, because we're reacting and we're giving you information and stuff by using other people's content. So we're trying to, they deserve the credit. We're not
the lab. We're not gonna steal people's work and then claim it as their own.
No. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on the links in the chat.
This is the next video. We're gonna start with this religion, like he started. So I found this cool feature. I'll show it to you. It's kind of cool. I'll show it. But I found this cool feature, a tab I was told by Good Egg, where you can just type in a word and it just pulls up the timestamp in the video that you want to look for. It's kind of cool. I should tell you that. I'll help you get it too. Makes your life a lot easier. Let me just, before you share a screen, let me just look for it. Okay, Here it is. Okay, here you go. So we're starting at this. I think this is the part with the religion, right? Yeah, this is the religion. Okay, I'm ready.
Is this this is the right opinion.
This is the right opinion. I put it in the chat.
Yeah.
We'll play it. And this is when he started, he tried to do his own religion early on in his life.
Promoting the religion.
Hey, Steph.
Acting as a follower, sometimes acting as a founder. Maybe he was testing a response, or maybe he was just doing what he felt was the most socially beneficial. He also posted some emails he thought were of value from the site, including ones where he credits his sociopathic traits as giving him some form of godlike quality.
It's called, the religion was called Siskia or something like that.
Yeah. Is there any way you can put it up? Because it sounds the volume.
I got it. Okay, I'll put it up.
Okay, thank you.
How very inspiring. There are many other highlights, but you can see it for yourself. In a way, it makes him a monster.
Okay, let me see. Maybe I just start. Let me see. I don't know why.
We can aspire to, but also appeal to our experiences from time to time.
Just stop screen. I didn't pick the right one. My bad. Let me see.
You're good. The Right Opinion made 3 really good documentaries in perfect sections, like the beginning, how it happened, then it goes to the relationships, and then what was going on at that time. I like his content too. Y'all need to go follow The Right Opinion.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, they are cocktail. They're really good. And he also has other creators, like in the Onision files that he has done. He has like Mr. Gigi, Jacqueline, like a lot of creators came together to help make the video and to narrate it as well. And it just adds more, like, you know, when a community works together, that's a bonus.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree. Let me see. I'm trying to find it. 1 second. All right, I found it. I was like starting a little bit. Yeah, I found that part now. Sorry about that, guys. Let me see 1 moment.
When it comes to Onision, there's a lot of content out there, so it's going to take us a second.
Yeah, I got to get like to the right part. So this is like he talks about the religion part, where he started before like the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to be the authority. Before
Did you do the share screen?
Yeah, it's there. Yeah, it's there.
Onision's YouTube venture, hopefully mentioned by our good friend earlier, he ran a site called Siseska. I think this represents eventually what Onision wanted his channel to be. Siseska was a religion that Greg started when he was 17, although he stated he had subscribed to the doctrine since he was 11. I personally find that unlikely, but hey-ho, I think deciphering the truth on such a statement would be a bit of a tangent. Siseska as a concept had all these bizarre ideas that one might expect from a new startup religion. Onision would regularly spend time in forums promoting the religion, sometimes acting as a follower, sometimes acting as a founder. Maybe he was testing a response, or maybe he was just doing what he felt was the most socially beneficial. He also posted some emails he thought were of value from the site, including ones where he credits his sociopathic traits as giving him some form of godlike qualities.
How the fuck do you consider being a sociopath a godlike quality?
I mean,
Holy fuck.
look at all the men in the world through history who really thought that they were God.
Yeah, but that's not social. That's not sociopathic behavior. That's narcissism.
It's not a part of sociopathic behavior.
I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, but I'm just saying.
We're not doctors. We're just saying.
Very inspiring.
Yeah.
There are many other highlights, but you can see it for yourself. In a way, it makes him a monster. In a way, it makes him a god.
That's his quote. In a way, this makes me a monster. In a way, this makes me a god. Okay, bro. This kid was like an edgy teenager.
Now, we may laugh at things like this, but the truth is that all over the world, cults like this are formed under the belief that the person at the helm is some sort of god. Onision knew that, and therefore tried to replicate the formula to create a cyber cult of sorts. Abuse of power within cults is often solicited when a person is roped in by an individual's charisma or sincerity or extensive wealth or any other values like that. But once they're in and once they have become indoctrinated with this belief system, they become often dependent on the cult leader, often financially and emotionally. This allows people in power to exploit that control. Creating a cult online has a few downsides. One of the biggest issues is physical proximity. When you're trying to escape a
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, if you look at a lot of the in the future when we go into relationships, it kind of is like a cult-like mentality where you see like him groom a person, brainwash a person, beat them down, lift them up, beat them down again, get blackmail material, pretend to be the victim, pretend to be like the fucking savior, all that bullshit, all the usual bullshit you see.
Yeah.
cult, it's not just mental entrapment, but physical. Even if it's not exactly a prison, the feeling that you may be chased or face a consequence even worse if you get caught is scary. If a cult leader has shown themselves to be capable of exploitation, who knows what lengths they'll go to maintain that. Obviously, although someone is not powerless over the internet, the window between people often gives them more control to make decisions that may help them distance themselves from controlling individuals. On top of this, it's hard to channel assets like charisma and sincerity into text form, so it made sense that actually Onision's YouTube channel worked better as a medium.
To all you pro-lifers, I have a question. How many times do you need to be raped and impregnated before you figure out that having a choice may be a little bit more important than you originally thought?
When you originally
So like that's a little.
He tries so hard to be deep.
Yeah. Also, he had I think at one point, I don't know if he's still a vegan, but he would say like some weird shit. Like he would dress up like a cow and talk about how people were meat eaters, like take people's lives or something, like take lives or some shit. It was just He did a lot of edgy content. Usually his content was like a lot of edgy stuff. But so let's go into eventually.
Hey Boston.
How you doing, Boston?
Oh, I cannot pronounce your name. Amon. I'm just gonna say Amon.
So he goes through the fake religion he tries to do, right? And then he goes, let me see, trying to find the military stuff.
I think that's the first video.
No, I'm trying to get the actual like.
Oh.
Let me just stop sharing. You could do that part if you find it.
2004, 2005. His first marriage with Sky. Greg creates Onision YouTube channel.
Yeah, but we gotta go through the military one more.
I'm looking through the timeline. I'm
So-
just reading out loud.
All right, so let me see. Right. Let me just read the chat while you're looking for that. Let me see. Cults don't get caught. They have limitless pill for cleaners and killers. You've seen limitless. Oh, wants to put regular people. Okay, let me see who this person is. Okay.
Oh, in 2004, he creates a prevention website for rape.
Okay, that person is
Okay,
done for.
2005, January 3rd, 2005, Greg, which is Onision, joins the U.S. Air Force. And then soon after, the same year, he meets Sky. And Sky is his first public relationship that we know of. It's when he made his first viral video, the Banana Song. That was Sky in the video. And then they married the same year in August.
Heard about the Banana Song. Let's just put the image of the Banana Song. Let me see. One moment. I gotta put it up here. So what happened was he does the Banana Song. And this is the Banana Song. We're gonna stop it a lot because he's a fucking striker.
He is a striker. He's a bitch.
So yeah. So anywho, we'll play it and you get an idea. This is what they believed was content. What was this in 2007, right?
Oh yeah, this was like anything.
Yeah. So let's play it. And this got, let's see, how many views did it get? 92 million views 13 years ago.
I think it's mostly thanks to
2010.
20.0 though.
Yeah, that's later on though. That's where it's So let's play it. All right.
Sky! What, Greg? I'm a banana! You're a what? I'm a banana! What happened to your clothes? I'm a banana! I'm a banana! I'm a banana! I'm a banana! Look at me, man! I'm a banana! I'm a banana!
To save you from another minute of that horrifying thing, He does "I'm a banana" for about a minute and a half, and saying "Look at me move," and then she proceeds. I think does a chicken. Yeah, so Kai does not this guy. I mean, Sky does the chicken thing, and
yeah, the cocktails are. Oh my God, laugh out loud. So 2007. Yeah, it is. See, people were watching this in 2007, but I was the weird one watching Salad Fingers.
yeah. So anyway, he does this. Eventually, goes on Tosh.0, and he puts it on. And if you don't know what Tosh.0 was, basically it was kind of like a reaction channel, like we're doing online, but it was on Comedy Central. He grabbed, internet shit, play for his general audience, react to it, do comedy sketches, and this was one of them. This propelled his career. Before the Banana song, I think he was doing collabs with Shane Dawson. And basically he had a YouTube channel, and he was doing some collabs with Shane Dawson, who's another person who has interesting past. Let's just say that much. Yeah, I remember Tosh.0 too. And then he gets kind of propelled into a lot of subs. He becomes the top 100 biggest YouTube channel at that time. And he also does a lot of other things. Before we get into the relationships part, he does a lot of other weird things. Like he will do reaction, kind of acting crazy content. We'll put back the crazy one where he screams and cries constantly.
It seems like he really didn't pick up with his craziness until 2010. No, go ahead.
Yeah. So this is him crying.
Get Mulder and Scully to show up on my doorstep. I'm not really.
Oh my God, how many Nirvana shirts does one man have? Hey, Sean.
Hi, Sean.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Jack, and today
I'm leaving, and this is it.
I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad, like, he didn't make it in the Air Force, because the Air Force is an elite branch of the military. I don't want him to have a gun. I don't want him to to protect me.
So
8% dislikes. Really? Really? What is the point of even trying anymore when you people want to stop harassing me? Why do you do this? I want to show you something. I want to show you something.
I'm so scared.
Look at I do this. Look at this. You see this? This is
bro, this man needs to get hopefully maybe he can bench press when he's in prison one day, because he has no fucking muscles.
No, he does now.
No, he does now.
Now he does. Yeah, of course he does now. He has an OnlyFans.
Yeah, fuck me, man. This not.
It's just
I record on the other side of this, okay? I record on the other side.
Not his green screen.
You look at this! Look at what you did! This is my green screen, right? Bye! Bye, green screen! Oh, now it's gone! Now it's gone! You want me to rip apart my whole studio? Huh? You just want to tear me down? Like this? You like that? Look at this!
So you got a general idea that he does over extreme reactions, and also he does dress up content as well.
Is it weird that I don't know if he's acting or if it's really him or it's a combination of both?
It's probably a combination of both.
Yeah.
Yes, this
right.
is Onision. Yeah, this is Onision. Yes, this is him. So this is part of his content. Another part is
he's still on YouTube randomly. It's just he doesn't get paid for it, so he doesn't make as much content as he used to.
As soon as the lawsuit was announced on him, he took a break. So he's been gone from YouTube for 3 months, but he still has a channel.
Yeah.
So what's else?
Yeah, it has to be a comedy because there's no way I can understand somebody having a manic episode. Obviously, I've had some. Not as bad as this. Not as bad as this. But if I would never record it, and right after I would not fucking upload it. Like there's so many steps in between recording the video and uploading the video where you could have been like, maybe I should not share this with the world. But he doesn't do that.
Yeah. Let me see.
That's why I think it's kind of acting, because this is what he's like. People want to see me crazy. I'm gonna be crazy, you know.
Yeah. So other things like this would be like another part of his content. This is kind of famous for.
This is my vegetarian body! Ah! This is my body!
Now, I also, when I saw this first, when he did this whole ridiculous thing, I thought he was using steroids, to be honest with you, because usually you get these fucking pimples when you get 2 steroids, but could be wrong. You know what I mean? Tony's quiet now.
I was trying to find something. Yeah, I don't know what all that is about right there.
This is him like when he was like saying this is his vegetarian body.
That's
at one point.
Constellation. That's Sirius right there. That's Artem. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean that's why I thought he was doing steroids back then, because like he suddenly bulks up like this. I mean, and then gets a little bit of muscle, and then gets all these pimples. Usually, a side effect of taking steroids is getting like a lot of pimples and shit like that in your body. I've noticed. So, but yeah, this is him. This is his reaction usually. I think it's a combo. Yeah. So what's next? So do you want to get into the relationships, or do you want to get into the Regina Cooney coverage? How he kind of does that a little bit.
We should get the Regina Cooney stuff out of the way, because while you're finding it, I just want to give a trigger warning. I know a lot of people might not know who Regina Cooney is. She is a gamer woman, actually. She's a woman, but she started as a gamer girl, and she has a very severe eating disorder. It's sad, and I know it could be triggersome, so I just wanted to warn you. She is self-aware of it, and from what my understanding is she is seeking help. It's always going to be a big controversy when it comes to Eugenia, but I think she's cool. I just want her to be healthy.
And this is like 3 years ago, so she probably
Yeah.
do better. But...
Well, I watched her video from like last week, and it's not, yeah. But Greg, or Onion Boy here, Onision, targeted her during the height of her eating disorder, and it was horrible. Like we can physically see somebody going through it.
Yeah. So. And I think Johnson did a coverage of Eugenia Cooney, and basically went through that pretty well.
Yeah.
You probably watch Johnson's live when she did just Eugenia Cooney. She did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me play this.
Eugenia Cooney and her controversial time on YouTube, Shane Dawson swooped in and filled everybody in.
This is Gigi doing the commentary on this.
Yeah,
Mr. Gigi.
This is the same video in the link above that we posted in chat, so it's all in one compressed video.
Yeah.
But if you're still out of the loop, Eugenia Cooney was your average 2013 YouTuber. Just a happy young girl doing Q&As, participating in tags, and showing off outfits. Fast forward 3 years where a man named Greg would make a video on her, and unfortunately, change your life. And just so you're aware, the majority of these videos are AWOL in the shadow realm, because deleting evidence is always fun, but thankfully, they've all been documented. Believe it or not, but the first video that Onision made on Eugenia Cooney on May 9th, 2016 was actually defending her. I mean, with a title like Eugenia Cooney is anorexic, you wouldn't think so, but Onision simply compared her body to a supermodel's, claiming they weren't that different. 4 months later, Onision's opinion quickly changed with the titled video, Please Help Eugenia Cooney. And a whopping 10 Eugenia videos would follow in the next 2 months. Onision was clearly worried. about paying rent or something, because it became very apparent that Eugenia was more so a cash cow to Onision than a charity case. A supposed cry for help became a target on Eugenia's back. Onision would urge his viewers to unsubscribe to Eugenia if she did not gain weight in a certain amount of time, claiming that if you continued supporting her, you would be helping her die. Now, thankfully, Onision announced in early October of that year that he had no plans about making any more Eugenia videos in the future. But tweets? That's fair game. At Onision, give her a more I care about you, but I'm not humiliating you approach. Tried that. But Eugenia, the obvious sociopath, Onision, accused people of being a sociopath before it was cool. Continues to inspire young girls to starve themselves regardless. At Onision, you think humiliating her is the way to fix it? If someone is without any doubt killing themselves, bringing attention to their condition is the least you could do. Anorexia is lethal. Greg has a funny way of responding to people. Yeah, I'll take avoiding the question for 500, Alex. Shortly after a petition was made to get Eugenia off YouTube, Onision just couldn't help himself, and off the wagon he went. This would quickly become a trend. Onision would say he's resigning on the topic of Eugenia, but then proceed to talk about Eugenia because...
Last time I checked, when you resign from something, you can take it up again if you choose.
Then why even say that, Greg? What the hell's the point? Just say the possibility's always there, or don't...
Now, the real truth of why he was doing this is because he was getting a lot of views from all of his channels from doing this. And this was before the ad apocalypse that occurred. The ad apocalypse basically was an event that caused people to lose a lot of money on their ads. Basically, it all started, I believe, when Coca-Cola literally was accidentally, their ad was literally accidentally put on a Taliban video.
Oh, yeah.
And some other things, and basically a lot of the people that did the ads, like that the big companies, pulled out their money from YouTube. They says, we're not going to give you money for ads anymore. We're not going to put our advertisement here unless you clean it up. And it caused a lot of demonetization and reduction of like a lot of AdSense and stuff like that for people. And it was a really shitty time during that particular time. So basically, he was doing all these videos before the apocalypse. So you got like 10x the amount of money, or maybe like 50x the amount of money that you would normally get today for ads to back then. And of course, it was a lot more even before that. Obviously, you're talking about like you would get a lot of money per views. So he was making a lot of money from doing videos about her, a lot. And he was not doing this for an unselfish purpose. He was doing this to basically get views. At one point, he's going to discuss. Onision was accusing her of Regina Cooney of killing people, that her condition was advertising anorexia and it was killing people without any substantial proof or anything like that. You have anything to add before I hit play?
No, you said it perfectly.
Honestly, I believe she is still alive. She's alive, and sadly, she's still anorexic. But hopefully,
she's still doing her content.
Yeah, and hopefully, she will, get the help she needs. But she doesn't need fucking.
There's a whole backstory with Eugenia that could be another video. I don't know.
Yeah.
But look into it. There's a lot of,
There's a lot. Yeah.
There's a lot to it, but we all hope that she's
yeah, but you know what? I
mean, she has a life ahead of her.
Yeah, I just hope she gets the mental help she needs and tries to get better.
Cap it off. Just leave it. Regardless of what somebody is saying, you should always look at their intent. Why are they doing this? Onision could push his anti-anorexia campaign all he wanted, but as long as he kept uploading videos like this...
Okay, so I just add the main food.
So this is when he does his sketches. A lot of times Onision will dress up like various characters.
Hey, Grandma.
Hi, Grandma Sherry.
Love me, Grandma.
Various characters, and this is him making fun of Regina Cooney.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Crypt Keeper. I go to the bathroom through my mouth, so it's okay.
His intent was clear.
So imagine a girl who's suffering from
ED.
An eating disorder and suffering from imagining himself perfectly. And you have people doing sketches like that, claiming that they're helping you. That's like me dressing up as a 300-pound man trying to tell a 300-pound man to lose weight while making fun of him for being 300 pounds.
Yeah.
That's not an appropriate response. If you really want to help someone, you don't try to humiliate them. Just, you know what I mean? You can spread awareness of it, but you don't humiliate someone who's suffering a mental problem.
No, you're supposed to support the person. You're not supposed to, or just don't even talk about the person.
Yeah.
Walk away.
So that's the type of content he would do, and he would do various other content with dressing up and weird shit.
Here. Now, sure, some could say, well, his method of saving Eugenia is abrasive, but it could prove effective. I wouldn't be so sure. This is essentially the equivalent of fat shaming, which according to a professor of health psychology at the University of Surrey in a 2019 article from BBC, shaming is the wrong way to move forward. Even in the example of somebody claiming fat shaming led to them losing weight, Professor Jane Ogden says that experience is atypical. At this point, Greg's videos were garnering hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views, so it wasn't a surprise when the milkman kept chugging away.
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
I don't even think he was hiding it at one point. In one of his videos, he was quoted saying,
"Hey there, I haven't made a video on Eugenia Cooney's weight in months. My videos on Eugenia Cooney always do very well. So as a person who's concerned about Eugenia's health and a person who wants to make successful videos, I'd like to take the opportunity to publicly check up on her now."
Really? What's wrong, Greg? Onision judges not hitting like it used to? Probably the most pivotal piece of evidence is when YouTube mass demonetized videos about Eugenia Cooney. And then Onision re-uploaded a video to another channel of his titled, "Please help this YouTuber heal." Not doing this for money. Many more Eugenia re-uploads later, she announces on Twitter that she is taking a break from social media and privately working with a doctor. Please respect that. You guys saved Eugenia. I may know who saved Eugenia. It wasn't me. How Eugenia Cooney will look after recovery, plus some things I need to say. If you have anything positive you would like to say to Eugenia Cooney, please post it to the page where she can go to see nothing but supportive/loving statements thanks to you and the awesome mods. I'm happy we're making a safe place for her and others. Yeah, guys, please go tell Eugenia that you support her on my website's forums that have banner ads. It's to help her, trust me. As usual, the rumors are not true. I am not making videos on Eugenia Cooney for money. This is an important topic that needs to be discussed. I have a Patreon to help me when my videos do not get monetized. I truly do care about her. As usual, I come with proof. His proof is a screenshot of only 4 videos out of the 60 he made.
Yeah, he made a lot of motherfucking videos on this girl.
Yeah. This guy is not, I don't know his net worth, but this guy bought like 3 properties.
Yeah, he had a mansion.
Yeah.
But
in
he
one
lost
video, he had a goddamn chandelier in his house. I was just like, God.
Yeah, but the problem is he wastes his money. Like, for instance, the wetland situation.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
So basically, he had like his backyard attached to a wetland. And
Hey, Sleuth Mom.
And he wasn't supposed to do anything to the wetlands. He wasn't supposed to cut it down or anything. No, he decides to cut it down. And his neighbor next door records him doing it, and he gets into a lot of trouble. And he had to pay a lot of money to restore it. But he was bitching and moaning about it constantly. And, you know, and I'm talking about like a few $1,000s. I'm talking, what was it, like tens of thousands, if not more, of money that he had to pay to fix the shit he did, because he just
and the GoFundMe he made for it to prove a point that backfired.
Yeah, he did a GoFundMe too. So this guy, you know, he wastes his money like crazy, and he spends it on stupid fucking shit.
This is the guy. Cocktail. This is exactly. Chris Hansen knocked on his door. Yeah, he was being polite, but Onision's just a whole nother breed.
Yeah.
Demonetization. Here's 7 reasons why this tweet is horrible.
The number one thing you need to give an eating disorder is attention.
Not making videos on Eugenia for money and not making money on Eugenia videos are 2 very different things, Greg.
I've made a lot of videos about Eugenia Cooney.
It seems you requested a review for one of your videos, and the only reason you would do that is in the attempt to monetize it.
You just outed me yourself.
It's very possible after you tweet this, you put in a review for the rest of the videos and maybe get them all monetized.
Your argument is decimated.
I have a Patreon to help me when my videos do not get monetized. Did you guys know I have a Patreon? Well, I mean, not anymore.
Do I want your attention?
Why even bring up Patreon? That hurts your claim, if anything. Guys, I'm not making these videos for money. I get my money from Patreon, so it doesn't matter.
Being stupid means you lack intelligence or common sense.
I might be mistaken on this one, but you should have a more recent video up that's not in this screenshot for some reason.
You just put it out there even more.
Just a week after this tweet, Onision enlisted 21 of his Eugenia videos because he didn't want his more negative videos still hanging over Eugenia's head as she dealt with her disorder privately. At least that's what I would have said if Greg wasn't a scummy hypocrite. He placed those 21 videos behind a paywall on his Patreon. I'm not doing this for the money. It's extremely gross at this point. Greg is literally taunting her with these re-uploads and these money-grubbing shenanigans. Don't worry, guys. He took him off his Patreon a month later after he already took everybody's money. After everybody went in there, took the videos, and downloaded them. And he knows that. He knows that wasn't going to last long. He wanted the quick buck. This saga ends with videos like Eugenia Cooney's beautiful emails to me, where he basically emailed her saying, I wish the best for you. Sorry about those jokes in the past. All 600 of them. And sorry about accusing you of quite literally murdering kids because of your disorder.
Anorexia takes about 23 years off of your life. Eugenia Cooney's killing young girls.
Now, before anybody says, oh, Eugenia Cooney killing young girls, Greg's concept, was his logic, that Eugenia Cooney had a YouTube channel and she was reflecting an eating disorder to young people who could adopt that disorder. That was his whole concept of it.
Which is fucking ridiculous.
It's stupid. It's just, I'm not saying young girls don't have it, obviously. I'm just saying, like, he tries to make excuses up for him to be bad.
Yeah. Hi, Splendor, Splatter. See, I'm messing up your name. Sorry about that. Hi, C, how you doing? Hi, BC, how you doing? Grandma Sherry. Cocktail, and
Slipmon's here, too.
I said Slipmon 3 times.
Oh, okay.
3 times. Showing me.
Heyo.
Let me see. Let me play more.
Order. Dick move on my part. And Eugenia, being the nicest person alive, replies saying, yeah, you should have really approached all of that different.
Thanks so much for saying that. I appreciate it a lot. Honestly, in the past, some of the videos you made were pretty heartful to me. In the future, if you do see someone you think is struggling with issues, whether that's an ED or another mental health issue, I think trying to stick to showing love and being positive is usually the most helpful, where it can be such a sensitive topic. But that's in the past, and I really do appreciate you being so much more positive lately. And I think it says thank you. Okay, so she does this generally nice reply.
Yeah, Eugenia Cooney is she's very sweet and very kind to a fault, because a lot of people walk all over her. Yeah. So
differently
sweet.
But thank you. And Greg cashes in 2 videos off of that. Did you just want more content?
So he made 2 videos more after that apology. That's great, that's great.
Greg, or do you actually care now? We may never know, but what we do know is that the majority of Onision's Eugenia vids were made pre-apocalypse. So he has made, I would assume, tens of thousands of dollars off of her situation. That is excluding the subscriber jumps that he most likely received from those videos, which then trickled views into his other videos, trickling money into his Patreon, trickling money into his merch. If Onision making 60 plus videos on Eugenia Cooney was not for money, then I guess the down payment on a mansion was just an unfortunate byproduct.
Those videos that were made intended to help Eugenia Cooney get to rehab and start to rehabilitate. Eugenia Cooney has since gone to rehabilitation and is rehabilitating.
Correlation does not imply causation, but whatever helps you sleep at night, Greg.
Thank you, Mr. GG. What a
Mr. GG. I think his channel's grew a lot on that now, but this is a couple of years ago, so yeah, he's a good channel.
Mr. GG has 2 channels, and both of them are amazing. Y'all need to go see him.
Yeah, let me see if I can get the link from Mr. GG. One moment.
I think he has Mr. GG, and he has another one that does a lot of movie reviews. I like the movie reviews.
I usually like to watch Mr. GG's review of Steven Seagal crappy movies, which is hilarious.
Yes.
Great movies. They're hilarious to watch, honestly.
Here's Mr. GG.
Yeah, great channel to look at. He has funny videos. He's a really funny guy, and and I like The Last Exorcist. I gotta watch that one. I didn't watch that one yet.
Oh, maybe he got rid of his other channel, but yeah, Mr. GG.
Julie says, so basically he turned various ways of shaming and exploiting women's bodies into cruel games for monetary, among other purposes. Yeah, that sums it up. That sums up how he makes his money. Also, he then uses that ability to go after young girls who he basically exploits either for money and or sexually. He's a real disgusting human being.
Mind you, on the side of doing all that, he is grooming 15-year-olds.
Yeah. So here is a link to, we didn't really get too much into the religion aspect before, but yeah, here's a link to the explanation of the religion that he was trying to create.
Oh, Siscon.
Yeah, so basically the religion was, the belief was this. Earth creates energy at its center. Humans came from Earth, and our purpose is to protect Earth and its inhabitants. Earth also created other non-living and living species that live among the humans. Humans are the most advanced species on Earth. They were not meant to kill each other or other species unless they use all remaining parts of the animal or plants. Our bodies are shells used to feed spirits. Then he has categories like Zudin, described on site as the soul, which has never experienced human occupation of given right. Oftentimes, sociopaths, due to lack in experience of human emotions through a first person's perspective, Zodins attack weak humans, which would explain haunted houses. Savant describes a post-human soul which have experienced honor of being rewarded a human body to dwell in. Devat, the space realm and unseen by human eye. So basically some fucking stupid shit a 17-year-old think of. So, and he tried to create this stupid fucking
He was
stupid
17 when he did it. How much time in your hands when you're 17?
Pasta Ferens. I don't know, man. This guy is just a weirdo. So let's go into the relationships. You want to play the relationships part, the fractured relationship part from the?
Yeah. Let me.
I could do it myself and do a share screen.
Okay, yeah, because I don't even have it up. I was looking for Mr. GG's other channel.
No problem. No problem.
He has 4 different channels, but they're all just, you look at under Mr. GG, and that's it. Hey, get out of here. Go. What the fuck's wrong with you? Go.
Okay, so now we got into a little bit. He's a weirdo guy who exploits women for his content, does anything for money, does insane reactions, dresses up like a fool, and pretty much thinks that he is some sort of superhuman because he believes that sociopaths are somehow superhumans. Let's go into the relationship part. This is we're going to play a little bit of it. Obviously, we're not going to play the whole thing, because obviously we don't have enough time, and we'll just put the video and you can watch later, but we'll play basically the beginning and jump to certain parts. But anyway, this is from The Right Opinion.
Thanks to him, we have a lot of,
a lot of people. Yeah, so let's play it and let's go. We'll stop it, obviously, fair use. We'll stop it every, when we have to make a comment.
Going after people who are lacking direction, in a vulnerable position, and open to receiving support from someone, often led Onision to relationships with those between the ages of 16 and 18, though there is deviation. Over the years, as he aged and as he got through a fair few relationships, the age gap increased, showing that he was still targeting the same people. What exactly did he want? Let's talk about the relationships of Onision. Onision's relationships while he was on the platform started with a person he was actually married to prior to the creation of his YouTube account, a person named Sigh. This relationship, despite Greg's habits of putting all his problems about it on the internet, did seem to be mildly functional at one point. However, all this began to fall apart when a new individual was introduced to his life. Her name is Shiloh.
As I'm sure you know, because I'm incredibly famous, and I wanted you to meet my girlfriend. There she is. Say hi.
Shiloh was a Canadian punk artist who actually had a charting hit at one point. It kind of slaps, even if it's a tad dated. However, in 2010, she was pulled into the Onision rabbit hole. Shiloh allegedly started looking into Greg's channel after seeing his I'm a Banana video on TV. Truly a love story for the ages. They began communicating, they developed a friendship. That friendship eventually turned into an emotional affair, and by the end of 2010, Greg drafts up the divorce papers for Sigh. The original divorce documents are shown here. They included the assertion that Sigh forfeited her home ownership rights and that Greg would pay her $1,000 a month for 12 months if she moved out. Greg has regularly cited this and claimed that Sigh did not honor this signed contract, but Sigh has responded saying that given she signed the contract under emotional stress and verbal abuse delivered by our friend Gregory here, the court predetermined it as null. Now, there are a load of messy details regarding his divorce and his trip to Sky that is a much more in-depth story that we will partly cover soon. But the truth is that it seems she was not invested in his YouTube channel in a way that he wanted her to be, and Shiloh was. So for him, it was not a difficult decision. And once he had demonstrated his commitment to Shiloh, less than a few months after the divorce, Onision introduced Shiloh in his Onision's Girlfriend video. All very jolly and joyous. But this does not last, as this relationship...
Yeah, and he got into just fucking... You can go into this part and explain this part a little bit with Shiloh and the early relationship with Onision. Tony.
So basically, they were off and on together for a short amount of time. I mean, it was in a reasonable amount of time, and there was a lot of mental abuse. There was even one time, I think I sent you the video.
Yeah, we can play a little. We'll play a little bit more, and then we'll play that part of the video. Of this video, we'll switch it up just in one screen.
the Dan Spinks video.
No, the memory video.
Oh, okay. Okay, Shiloh. Okay.
The Forgot Me video.
Yeah, that's from Dan Spinks, isn't it?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So Shiloh. This is what was said. Shiloh had a seizure one night.
Well, wait. Maybe we should play more of this. And
okay.
Then,
yeah. Go ahead. Play it. Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll get into that.
Quickly devolves into rather grim territory. One of the first controversies occurs with the video Shiloh Forgot Me, when Shiloh allegedly suffers a seizure which invokes memory loss. Onision decides to film it and upload it to YouTube like many normal people would.
Look, I'll show you. No. Oh, I'm not going to touch it. Look.
Don't hurt me.
Look, okay.
Don't hurt me.
I'm going to YouTube. Watch. Okay, this is...
Unsurprisingly, the then normal people in his audience called him out for this. Apparently, there were people in his audience with sense. He deleted the video due to backlash, but also uploaded a video called I Respect Her Wishes, in which he defends the decision to not have her see a medical professional because they had already worked it out themselves.
Now, a little bit of the video. Oh, we just stopped sharing here. I'm going to share on the next one. Give me a second. Making Tony work today. Tony's like, fuck this job. Here, we'll play this one. Okay, so this is the controversial video.
Trigger warning for everybody. Please, trigger warning.
So while she has this memory loss, he decides to pull out a camera and put it as content for his channel. And that's what the backlash. So we're going to watch a little bit of this one.
Saturday. Unfortunately, last night when I was editing today's video, an unfortunate event occurred which involved both Shiloh and I. This video is going to explain exactly what happened. I just want you guys to know that I will be uploading a new comedy sketch on Saturday. And thank you for bearing with me through all this. Thanks.
Okay, maybe I'm a little bit fast. Let me see. I've been up all night trying to help Shiloh cope with the fact she just lost 3 years of her memory. She was crying really hard because I answered a series of questions in a careless way. In the middle of crying, she stopped instantaneously.
Hey, Faithful.
You said you want to make a rainbow?
Yeah.
Why aren't you looking at the camera?
Make a rainbow.
Do you know what my name is? Shiloh?
I want to make a rainbow.
I love you.
I want to make a rainbow.
How do you feel?
Like cookies?
How old are you?
4 fingers.
You're 4 years old?
Yeah.
What are you looking at right now?
Bird.
So he decides to put this up and film the woman who multiple times had memory loss and doesn't see a doctor about this.
Monetizing. That's basically
Yes, he monetized the video. This is we'll skip a little bit.
To him, this is what love is. Your partner has a psychotic break, and you film it. Not only film it, you edit it, and then you upload it for millions to see.
Yeah, pretty much. So let's continue on. This is where the part where, without her memory of me, she assumed I kidnapped her.
Look at this. Look at this. Hey, calm down. You're in my house, okay?
Why?
No. It's okay. It's okay. Look, I'll show you. I'll show you. No, I'll show you. Look. I'll show you, okay? No. Oh, I'm not gonna touch you, Bill.
Please don't hurt me.
Look, okay.
Please don't hurt me.
I'm going to YouTube. Watch. Okay, this is you. Okay, you film this.
Oh God. What is going on?
This is you. Look at it. That's you right there. That's you, and that's me. That's you, and see, there's you.
I look like I'm on drugs.
You've been having a lot of memory loss problems lately, and that's why you had this issue.
I need to prove of age.
Okay, I'll give you proof of your. Hey, he's alive.
That's good. No.
He was never dead. Here, I'm gonna turn it off and I'm gonna tell you what happened, okay?
She aged a lot.
In 3 years?
Yeah.
It's probably because
She's
it's probably because she got skinny. That's why she looks like she aged. How's the vegan cheese?
So he puts that video. I just wanted to give you an idea of
Mind you, it's not for awareness for a disorder. Mind you, it's not for anything but monetizing his partner at that time's psychotic break, and that's it. It wasn't. It wasn't for like awareness or anything of, I don't get it.
Yeah. So I put back the video. So just put it back.
Oh, okay, putting it back.
All right. So so now he's going to claim that doesn't go to a doctor. His wife is having memory losses multiple times, but it gets worse. It gets worse.
The reason I didn't call an ambulance is because I wouldn't want someone to call an ambulance on me if I lost my memory. I don't see what doctors are going to do to help Shiloh.
As mentioned, this distrust in medical professionals isn't coincidental. He didn't want anyone actually advising on his personal life, especially people who are astute enough to see what is going on. The saga then continued barely a couple months later when he uploaded videos called Shiloh Threatened Me and The Truth, which both frame his then ex-girlfriend as unstable. In between this, he has another relationship with a person called Adrienne, and this is when Onision uploaded the videos which led many people to question whether he was suffering from borderline personality disorder or not.
That relationship didn't work out. I'm going to be single for some time, and I have no idea if I'm even willing to put another girl through a roller coaster that is Onision, because I am a douchebag.
Truth is, I don't think.
Oh, I'm broke. Like, this is the usual routine. I'm broken. Come on. Maybe I just need the right woman to fix me. The usual bullshit. And then,
it's a manipulation thing.
Yeah. So he does that a lot. And then if that doesn't work, he tries to get back with the lady. You'll see. And then he will smear the lady's reputation all over the internet and then try to get her into control.
It's kind of like a manipulation. It's a tactic he uses to be like, oh, feel guilty for me because I have a mental disorder. And he does nothing to help his mental disorder, mind you. He doesn't talk to a therapist. He doesn't go get help. He doesn't commit himself. He just goes, oh, poor me. I'm this and that. You should feel bad for me, and that's an excuse for why I treated you horribly. It's a mental disorder. You can't blame me. No, get help. But yeah, that's all I had to say.
Yeah, agreed.
He did. I think Adrienne was a person that Onision had more trouble controlling than most, and therefore took to social media to attempt to manipulate her back with public shows, remorse, and regret. He was looking for a new person to play his game, and Adrienne didn't.
And I don't even want to point a single finger of blame at Adrienne. She's a nice lady. She really is. She deserves someone much more like herself, not like me. Because, I don't know, we're just so not compatible. It's ridiculous. And it was my mistake for being
As this crumbled pretty quickly, he left a string of failed endeavors to win her back, including numerous voicemails that would eventually become very notorious and symbolic of Greg's attempt to reconcile relationships that he was losing grip of.
And just so you know, everything I said publicly, they were never attacks on you. I was just living my life. Like, it's kind of like how you were just living your life when you said being much into a massage. You're just being you. No, I was busy blaming you for a lot of stuff that's not my fault.
Fortunately for Onision, it wasn't too long before Shiloh got back together with him, and this gave him a platform to publicly call out Adrian, even implying she had STDs.
Actually, the home that I ended up in was smaller than the first home. It's much prettier. Much more clean.
He likely did this out of business because he couldn't control her, but also now he had Shiloh back, he felt secure in having another person he could take advantage of, and believe me, he really did go to town this time. First, there was the issue that Shiloh was expecting. Originally, Onision did this weird celebratory video, and then there was this miscarriage, and then Onision uploads a video announcing Shiloh has sepsis, then he removes it and re-uploads it to his archive channel, blaming Shiloh for lying to him, and then Shiloh goes back to Canada for treatment regarding her case, and once again, she is beyond reach. So what does Greg do? Well, he goes back to being sulky, sad, and forlorn. He uploads a goodbye Shiloh video and makes multiple sad hour posts into the public sphere. Also in this time, Shiloh's mother mercifully hides her passport, and although Onision sends Shiloh money to purchase a new one, she does not. Maybe she worked out what was good for her. Onision also starts multiple feuds with his other exes in this time, I assume to try and show some sort of proxy loyalty. He's off attacking his exes and yet only has commitment to Shiloh.
Real quick, just to recap, Shiloh went back to Canada to get, medical help that she couldn't get in the States. Her mother knew how fucked up Greg was, Onision, and hid her passport. So people were aware, but they were doing the best that they could to keep, to keep them apart. And this isn't the first parent or the last parent to get red flags. So just so people know, parents did know. They knew about Onision. They did everything that they could to keep them apart, but you'll see. I just wanted to highlight that.
No problem.
And everything she represents. Sounds a bit sketchy, does it not? Well, let's sketch a little more to create an even clearer picture. Onision misses Shiloh so much, and he's once again showing how loyal he is, but she is gradually slipping away. Greg seems to have this algorithm of measuring how worthwhile the pursuit of a relationship is. In Shiloh's absence, he clearly felt to an extent there was something redeemable. They had a breakup the year before where Shiloh went back to him, as mentioned. And so in my opinion, Onision viewed a repeat of that completely viable, thus explaining all this sad regret posting. As said, Shiloh's mother hid her passport, and some distance had clearly given Shiloh time to make her mind up. And eventually, at the start of February, Shiloh and Onision ended their relationship. Immediately, however, Onision's tune changed. Very shortly after, he released a video called It's Over, suddenly calling Shiloh out for all her lies. In musical form, of course.
Now I think of it, yeah, I think of it. You look at me as another idiot. I believe your lies. Give us 14 tries. What do you care? It's not your heart that dies. No, it's me. It's always me. You can lie, control, scream, curse, use, abuse, get high, and what am I? I'm another guy. Just another guy to fall.
Now, once again, it's
Holy fuck, that was terrible.
He really thinks he can pull out bangers. He's like, I did something. Like,
holy fuck, bro. Oh,
it's
my
really
God.
bad.
I don't know why women get attracted to this guy. This guy's a fucking weirdo.
Hey, Lighting.
Hi, Lighting. How you doing?
plausible to say that Onision may have had a revelation himself. But really what followed felt rather contrived, added on top of the fact that when Shiloh admitted to, quote, emotionally cheating on Greg when confronted with various pieces of evidence, Greg once again used this to emphasize how evil Shiloh was, branding her as cheating scum. And although, of course, that sort of behavior isn't endorsed, it's hard to ignore the fact that as far as he knew at that point, Shiloh did to him exactly what he did to Sky with Shiloh, which was basically overlapping the end of a previous relationship with the start of a new one. So his fury seems somewhat hypocritical and contrived to say the least, even more so considering the drama that would occur a few years later. We'll get to that in a bit. None of Greg's reactions ever seem particularly natural. Everything seems designed to elicit some outcome he desires, which often requires swinging between contradictory standpoints. It seems he will do his best to maintain control over a person until they're out of reach, and then flip the switch. Let's talk about that a little more then. All right, so we've had a decent analysis of a large amount of real-time evidence thus far. This is what was observed at the time, but there's still a lot more to discuss. Onision was not a man with great ambitions. He just wanted to control you under every circumstance. And when
Oh yeah, he is a controlling fucking piece of shit. This guy controls almost every single woman that he enters into a relationship with.
Yeah.
He usually also makes them sign contracts and shit.
Oh yeah, like there was one incident where one girl came in and apparently she smoked pot, and therefore
I
for
think
her
that
to
was
come back to the house. I think it was Sarah.
Yeah.
Had to get a tramp stamp tattoo saying a
I'm a
tramp
liar.
tat that says that I am a liar or something like
Yeah.
that. We'll
Also-
get to it, but that's
Also,
just,
wasn't it also
Agree.
she was supposed to be chained in the basement?
yeah. Well, he said he wanted to, and Lucas, Kai, whatever he likes to be called now, Lucas is now the one that he's still married to. Lucas was
For the
very-
sake of because I got to mention Kai a bunch of times, and if you keep on saying Lucas, the guy's confused. We'll just say Kai for the sake
So
of.
we're just gonna say Kai. It's not that we don't respect pronouns or what your name is gonna be. It's because it's the video. So Kai, the person that Greg Onision is still married to, was kind of complicit with everything. But mind you, too,
He was
he was groomed by Onision.
Yes. He's also into cuckoldry.
Oh, he is he's a
If you don't know what cuckoldry is basically how do I explain it? It's basically what it's basically where you get off watching your partner have sex in front of you. So that's cuckoldry. And he's into cuckoldry.
I mean, if it's your kink, it's your kink, but don't do it with underage girls.
Yes.
you weren't under his control, he'd play a variety of mental games. I think you can categorize them into the 5 stages of Onision relationships. The first one was bait. He'd reach out to people in a caring way, perhaps even in a vulnerable way that would suggest that he needs someone. He needs a person to a reasonable extent. This tricks the unfortunate person into believing that they would have some conducive role to play in Onision's life. Onision is also a person with a decent amount of resources, so if you can help him, maybe you can be a part of his kingdom. How inspiring. And then he shows you how committed he is. He invests in you. He makes you feel like he cares about you specifically. He spends time and money to come and see you, and before you know it, you're in his arms and you can live out his dreams together. Of course, I emphasize his dreams, not yours. Over the first few years on this time on YouTube, it's clear he wanted someone he could use in a way that he wanted to, someone who he could manufacture conflicts around. And with Shiloh, he really found that. He found someone who would play his games, someone who would play into the drama, threats, and testimonies.
The camera off of me, I swear to God. He has a camera on me. He has a camera on me right now. Get the camera off of me. Why do you have a camera on me?
Okay, thank you.
Then comes the third phase. If you're lucky, you have some distance from Onision. He suddenly feels remorseful. He misses you so much. He's afraid he might never find another girl like you again. You weren't like all those other women. They didn't compare to you. You were special. He's gonna post all these sad statuses onto the internet. He might even upload a video or two.
Says thank you for the special family times, for the joy I've known as your wife, and most of all, thank you with all my heart for being the love of my life. And I want to explain something. She calls herself my wife because she still wears the engagement ring, and I'm totally okay with that. Like, I'm not trying to move on. I'm not like desperate to find someone to replace her or anything.
Sometimes this might pull you back to stage 2, but also the distance might allow you to see the situation more clearly and finally make a decision that you don't want to ever interact with him again. And that's when we reach stage 4.
And then this gets thrown on my lap. Oh, by the way, she cheated on you. And on top of that, she posts things to Facebook saying mean things about me. And it's like, okay, so you cheat on me, you lie to me, and then you say these mean things about me. And I'm just supposed to move on like you never betrayed me.
What a piece of shit. What an absolute fucking disgusting human fucking being. So yeah, I mean, that's basically how he does his usual routine of grooming and stuff like that. But we'll continue. I just wanted to say he's a fucking piece of shit.
I mean, if you got to think, Shiloh was broken before meeting Onision. Kai, I don't know much about Kai, but Kai stuck around. Other girls smartened up. There was even some that were like, nope, we're not doing this, and walked away.
Well, at one point I think we forgot one part where he actually admits, Sky's sister, he actually tried to kiss Sky's sister during a party when she was 15 years old. What was he? What was he, like 18?
Yeah, I think he was 18, 19, around that.
Yeah,
Give or
and he
take.
tries, and he was like literally stalking, like online stalking the sister, like just going to websites that she was on, trying to get into a relationship with the younger sister. This guy is a fucking predator. This guy will search for like younger women, like girls who were like 16, teenagers, basically. So yeah, he tried to seduce his first wife's sister.
That's so creepy. It's so gross.
Yeah.
He's gross. Like,
yeah, he's a fucking disgusting human being.
Suddenly, in fact, you were just like all those who came before you. You were a cheat. You were a slut. You were.
Let me see. All hail the thief, my ex-wife, and many like her. I love how she steals from me every month, and yet people praise her on her Facebook page as a hero. What crazy. Greg, grow up. She's done nothing to you. Okay, so yeah. Also, he bitched and moaned. Like at one point, I don't know if it says it later on in this video. It might have been later on in this video. At one point, he had to pay alimony. Right? He's paying alimony, and then he's like crying about paying alimony. And the fact also, he actually tries to say, "Oh, I'm going to kill myself," and he makes videos about, like, at least if I kill myself, I don't have to pay alimony anymore. And he texts her about, if he has to pay alimony, he's going to kill himself. Like literally posting like this harassment shit, videos, demonizing his ex-wife and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just fucked up. This guy's a real piece of shit.
yeah,
And,
normally men who act like this, they act like this behind closed doors, but he's done it so publicly. And then he gets shocked when you point it out, and you're like, and he's like, "How dare you?" Then you give him a way to play a victim. That's what he wants to do, is play the victim.
You were a liar. You were taking his money. You probably had STDs for all he's concerned about. And now Onision is mad because he thought you were different. And now he's going to stress to his audience that you weren't. And you hurt him just like the rest. And now he's so broken. Oh, and now he wishes that someone would come and rescue him. Oh, if only there was someone out there who would save him. Meanwhile, you're sat there, shell-shocked from the relationship, and you just wish he would stop talking about you. He did this with everyone the audience could identify, primarily with Sky, Adrian, and Shiloh in the first few years. He simultaneously would keep in contact with them while demonizing and shading them at every possible opportunity. Eventually, many of these girls would reach the 5th stage, but I will talk about that in due time. I think I have more than enough.
How many months old are you? 247.
Now, this is Kai before the transition to a male.
Onision had an assemblage of individuals who either partially or went through this arc, and that was because he wanted them to play his game, and many of them, although vulnerable, did have some sense to escape this. However, this changed when we introduced the character called Kai. Kai, who was Lainey upon meeting Greg, is Onision's current husband, and another highly controversial person whose details we'll delve into in a bit.
I proposed to her in probably the least classy way possible. I proposed to her via video over the internet in such a weird way. I basically said it like this: "You know I'm gonna marry you, right?" That's how I did it.
Like many of the people who Onision involved himself with, Kai found his future husband through the fan infatuation, and like a jigsaw falling into place when Onision put out one of his post-Shiloh tweets asking where his soulmate was, Kai replied, "Here," and Onision, smelling the potential from a mile away, like a blissfully basted Christmas turkey, moved into the DMs, asking why he exactly felt this way. So the communication elaborates, and a new relationship begins to flourish. Of course, this relationship is kept private, likely because Kai was underage at the time. The cycle begins. Onision wants to show...
Yeah, I think, was she 16 at the time? Let me see. I'm trying to remember.
They started talking at 15 because he made.
Yeah.
I think it's in this video by Onision himself. The father was like, "You cannot date my daughter until she's 25, and you can date my daughter in 10 years." And then Onision proceeds to say, well, I can't date her until she's 25. So do the math there.
Yeah.
10 years. It's 15. It's stupid. His
Yeah.
own mouth. This is not me exaggerating. He said it.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I could probably believe that he was communicating with her at 15. And I think he waits until that person's legal in that state to sleep with them. That's what his usual MO is. Hi, Jasmina. How you doing?
Hello, Jasmina. Yeah, he will literally go to a state that consent is legal for such and such age and get a hotel room and do the deed there. And he thinks
Yes.
he's okay. That's weird.
He did that with Shiloh, actually, right?
Yeah, he did that with Shiloh, and I think he tried to adopt one person too. I think that was Billy. Or
Billy was
Sarah.
the adopt. No, I think it was Billy. It might have
Yeah.
been Billy or Sarah.
Billy and Sarah were so close.
Yeah.
Of a situation.
Billy was the cuckold relationship. Like
Yeah,
the video,
that was
the thing-
Kai's girlfriend.
Yeah, that's soon to be like went to a kind of a three-way situation. And then-
Mind you, Kai was like 22 or something during that.
Yes.
I want to say. So, but Greg was like 30, 33, 34.
Yes. And then what happened was Sarah later came down because she had a rough situation in her home.
Yep.
And when she came down, she was like 16 at the time or something like that. And then she was talking to Kai.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Yeah, and then they basically go to the house, and of course, he's hiding the fact that the lady's at the house,
So is commitment to Kai, but this time the relationship takes a slightly different approach. Whether Onision had identified that Kai was pretty infatuated as it was, he proposed to him less than a month after they started dating. This sort of thing may have felt romantic to someone like Kai, but as Onision probably recognized, it placed a lot of pressure on him to be committed to the relationship, and saying yes would tighten their bond in a very special way. And Kai said yes, and Greg moves out to New Mexico to live with Kai. A fair few people noticed this, and although he avoids the topic, some people begin to put the dots together. After a bit of back and forth where it fluctuates between being long distance and close proximity, Onision rents out a place to secretly live with Kai while his parents are under the impression that Kai is staying at college. Kai turns 18 and less than a month later they are married and living together in Washington. Now, of course, this relationship wasn't without its drama, but it was mainly related to loyalty, which says more than enough. In this time, Onision also impregnates Kai and they have a child. And they also have another child later, by the way. Now, reflecting back on Shiloh, it wouldn't surprise me if Onision saw having children as a way to cement that loyalty and increase the cost of leaving him to Kai. On top of this, Onision had feuds with Kai's family over their very legitimate concerns. I didn't think this was particularly relevant at first, but these feuds would distance Kai from his family, thus making him and Greg more isolated in their relationship, thus once again affirming this theory of control.
Mr. Grump wanted to meet me at Olive Garden. We'll say that's an olive. Does that even show up on this? Stupid green. So Mr. Grump is sitting across the table from me at Olive Garden. Our conversation was kind of chill at first, then his eyes started turning red. He started getting teary because Mr. Grump decided to threaten my well-being. Despite my relationship with Lainey being legal, he also threatened to put me in prison, despite, again, our relationship being totally legal. So he threatened to seriously harm me and possibly kill me, as well as threaten me in other ways. F that guy.
That was a reference to Greg.
Well,
I
unfortunately.
don't know. If I found out that my daughter was getting groomed since she was 15, 16 by you or any man, I'm going to catch a charge.
Yeah, I think it would be worth catching a charge.
Yes.
I think it would be a fair trade.
Mm-hmm.
We don't generally condone crimes on this
If
channel.
it's your blood, though, that's your kid.
But, I mean, in my opinion, a guy who predatorily grooms 15 to 16-year-olds using his YouTube fame to get kids and then skirts the law, fucks them up mentally, and humiliates them online and proceeds to move to the next victim. Yeah, I think I'd catch a charge for that.
Exactly. Protect
I
your
won't
baby.
say, just for the YouTube sake, I won't say which charge I would catch, but I mean, certain things are worth going to jail for, and that would probably be one of them.
Oh yeah, parents' justice.
Yeah. Scumbag like this, yeah. It's disgusting how this guy gets off on basically, fucking with these kids' lives and fucking them up for future relationships, and then it's just some piece of shit degenerate motherfucker who proceeds to, do this for fun and his own sick fantasy and amusement. But yeah, it's unfortunate that he's still around, to be honest with you.
It really is.
And when I say still around, I mean in
YouTube, like he's still
No.
Yeah.
I have another way of saying it. Just keep it out there.
Volcano. I don't know who Colleen is. Did I say that right? I don't know that situation, Sean.
RJBT.
but we can look into it. I don't know who that is, or maybe I do, and it's not clicking with me. But definitely, with 15, yeah, I was 26 together and was so proud. Who my best friend and I found out she was in the same time contact with him. See, there's just some shady people.
Yeah, I mean, like, this should be, like, something I would say take this with you. If you have kids, probably avoid, like, when they get into these online figures, like these guys like Onision, because they're still around. There's people like this type of personality, and these young girls will just, like, email them and get infatuated with them and all this stuff. And I would say be very careful and watch them, because there are guys like this that will do this. Even today, there's a bunch of them. And they use YouTube. Yeah. They use YouTube and stuff like that, and on other platforms to get.
There's baby Onisions out there. There really are. You go, just watch what your kids are doing. Be active in their social media.
Greg's father-in-law, by the way. Delightful. By 2015, everything seemed to be going fairly solid. They were one real happy family. However, happiness seldom lasts forever, and the beginning of what has led up to the events that we observe today was about to occur. I suggest we talk about the next stage of this relationship.
He's sitting across the table from him, and he's probably going to threaten to sue me for this video. He's already threatened to sue me before, but that's fine. I'm allowed to tell stories about people without using faces or names, etc. But he was being hard on me for my age gap with Lainey, and I had a 9-year age gap with Lainey. And he told me to come back in 10 years, like not till Lainey was 25 to date Lainey. And I was just like thinking, how much power does this guy think he has? Like, this is
So, do the math. 15, yeah.
Kind of nuts.
By the way, another red flag. If a guy has a bunch of anime fucking things on.
No, shut up. Don't say,
It's a little too much.
As I have a 2 meter by 2 meter attack.
Yeah, but do you have like your whole wall postered by this? I've seen the back of your house. You don't have all this shit.
I have a 2 meter by 2 meter.
Yeah, but I'm saying, do you have like all these posters in the background and shit?
No, I don't have a bunch of.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
No, but I do have like anime, like a tapestry. So I don't go wild. Anime's expensive.
This is fucking weird, but.
Back
and
in
9
10
inch
years,
nails.
like not till Lainey was 25. Back in 10 years, like not till Lainey was 25.
Back in 10 years, like not till Lainey was 25.
Wait, what? I'm gonna hope that was an error on his part and continue regardless.
Enter Billy. Let me see.
Attached to him, he then moved on to exploring another character for their 50 Shades of Fuckery. Most of this probably occurred initially in 2015, though it was definitely conceived prior. It seems that this plan involved finding other younger individuals and involving them in their little project. Now, I'm going to save the spiciest details until the end. There is a lot on our plate, so it's best we get started now.
Yeah, boy.
In this time, Greg and Kai had reached out to various girls. However, none would really enter the public light until a person by the name of Billy. During 2015, Kai comes out as bisexual and genderqueer, and by the end of 2015, Billy begins talking to Kai privately, and very soon, Gregory becomes involved, encouraging Billy to date Kai. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait, isn't Greg married to Kai? Well, yes. You know that clip earlier?
I'm coming for you.
Come to me.
Almost there.
Wait, what?
That's right, baby. Your lips taste like cherry.
Oh my god, no.
This feels so right without whiskers. No more sandpaper except down there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. And you know that video was his idea to make himself feel better. He's like, if we laugh at it, then I don't look like such a cuck.
Holy fuck.
That's what he was thinking. But there's some relationships out there that are like that. That's fine. That's your kink. Do your fucking thing. Between two consulting adults is the key word. Adults.
Yeah, and what was happening is that Kai, now he's using Kai because
Yeah.
get into these relationships.
Kai's the buffer now because Kai is younger, so it looks less incriminating. That's my theory on it.
Yeah, because at this time, what is he, like in his 30s?
He's 36.
Yeah, but at the time of this one, he was like in his early 30s.
Oh, early 30. Yeah, he was like 33. 30.
Yeah.
No.
That's where we're
I don't know.
approaching. Onision clearly had a phase where his kicks were derived from publicly watching himself be cuckolded. Now, of course, if someone wants to
I guess that's the British way of saying cuckold.
Yep.
Cuckolded. Cuckolded. I learned something new.
upload that content onto YouTube, then they're allowed to, as embarrassing and pathetic as it may seem to me. However, there was more degeneracy to come, as Kai apparently didn't consent for Greg and Billy to date, and when Greg got a bit too intimate with Billy in an incident known as Cuddlegate, the relationship temporarily broke down, which led to the legendary "I betrayed my wife" video, once again highlighting Onision's nature of publicly self-shaming when it's beneficial for him.
I told Lainey what happened and it ripped everything apart. I was stupid and I thought that cuddling and a full body massage was harmless. And Lainey's position is, it wasn't the cuddling and it definitely wasn't the full body massage. It was really all about the fact that she clearly indicated she did not want me cuddling with this person, yet I manipulated my way into cuddling with her anyway. So she saw a huge betrayal in that.
After distancing Billy for a bit and trolling her with a fake video before exposing her text expressing feelings and framing her as a homewrecker, Onision and Kai once again tighten their bond. However, after this extremely stressful and tense ordeal, they did what any rational couple would do and gradually began integrating Billy back into their life. This occurred over 2016, and eventually this contrived love triangle was reignited. But this love triangle was also very quickly extinguished again by the end of November with the Onision video titled "We Broke Up." However, it wasn't actually over, and they got back together in December, and then they broke up again in January with another set of videos, one from Billy's side illuminating Onision's tendencies to have weird sexual motivations amongst many other things. Alongside this were some beautiful DMs and a video.
6 DMs say, I'll go through a list and you say yes or no, not to each. Okay. Tattoo, I'm a liar, just above your ass.
Yep.
No.
That was...
Be chained to our basement wall for a week with a sign around your neck that says, I'm sorry, I'm a lying, whatever that's blocked out, not. 3 days you wanted to do this? You're ridiculous.
Yeah, and he wasn't saying this like out of anger or like,
Well,
being... He meant what he said.
Yeah. Make a video about how you lied to Lainey and how you are sorry and want her back. Yes or no? No. Okay, bye. You always go for public humiliation, she says. It's public honesty. Grow up. Serious, though. Goodbye. For the record, though, the chained to the wall thing is hot as hell. You are mega boring for turning that one down. Okay, bye now. This guy is a predator. And I don't use that word. I pick my words carefully. But this guy is a fucking predator.
Yeah, I mean, there's fucking proof. There's so much proof. We can't even say allegations at this point.
And he still has a YouTube channel.
Yeah, he doesn't make money on it, but he still has access to it.
He still has a YouTube channel. You can still watch his
fans.
videos. Great. Really fucking wonderful. But anyway, we'll just jump a little bit to the...
real quick. The illegal drugs he was talking about was pot.
Yeah,
It was
marijuana.
pot. It wasn't like crack. It was literally cannabis, which I don't see a big deal about.
So this is Sarah. Now, Sarah has the most legitimate... Like, she was actually the one during the Chris Hansen interviews. She was actually the one that actually went for the police report. So she had the biggest claim when it came to that situation.
Person particularly indulgent in conflict, and there was no public falling out. So what really doing a favor for her? So emerging from the very stressful drama that Onision was clearly bothered by, he thought the best thing to do was to make a video responding to other people that were bothering him regarding another situation relating to a person by the name of Sarah. Now, Sarah hadn't been involved in too much drama herself. She wasn't a person particularly indulgent in conflict, and there was no public falling out. So what was the problem?
So I posted a picture to Instagram of myself just hanging out in a car with Sarah today, and I got a lot of familiar comments. Why are you living with a 16-year-old?
Sarah was 16, and at the time she was living with Onision. Sarah hadn't been involved
Let's
in
read
too
that comment. Let's read that comment.
falling out.
One moment.
So what was the problem?
So I posted a picture to Instagram of myself just hanging out in a car with Sarah today, and I got a lot of familiar comments. Why are you living with a 16-year-old?
Ah.
All right, that's a horrible name, but who else is generally concerned about this? Onision is in his late fucking 30s, and Sarah is 16. I'm not going to accuse anyone just yet, but I just feel super uncomfortable when I see those two together alone. That's all.
Sarah was 16, and at the time she was living with Onision and Kai. Was that really the best idea? Well, according to the individuals of interest, it was. Sarah was from what appeared to be a rather troubled household. She had been following Kai since a couple years prior and had began speaking to him when she was 14. However, by the end of
14.
14, yeah, and Jasmina, the reason why we have volcanoes is because people like Onision exist.
Oh, I would throw him in a volcano. It wouldn't. I would sleep like a baby the next day. I'm just saying that much. So this Kai was having communications with a 14-year-old when she is what, in her 20s?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
She's like she's like 22, 21, 22.
Yeah.
16, her home life appeared to have deteriorated, and apparently in an extremely low and vulnerable moment, Kai and Onision offered their home as a safe haven for a girl who felt like she had no other option. Now, many may ask why they didn't look at other less radical options, or perhaps understand the situation more carefully than just rushing in and basically temporarily adopting this person. And to that, I'd say, good question. As we know, Onision doesn't like to involve himself with the authorities. If you're wondering why people didn't call Onision out for that at the time, well, it's because he wouldn't really say.
You may ask why she's living with us. Well, this is where I kind of hit a roadblock, because we're talking about Sarah's private life, which she doesn't want to share with all of you, and she has a right to not have that shared with you. In fact, I told her I was going to make this video, and she very clearly communicated that she doesn't want people to know about her private life. So because she clearly showed disinterest in me sharing her private life / information about why she's here with all of you, I feel it's not appropriate for me to speak further of it.
This was the best option for him. Although he states it was in Sarah's best interest, it was also in his best interest, giving the audience as little information regarding these stories.
I always thought, like, I always sit there and I wonder, like, about YouTube, like, how did no one, like, fucking just freak the fuck out that this guy's living with a 16-year-old girl?
You mean like the people at YouTube?
Yeah, like all his fans, like I've seen some of his fans kick back, but like this guy is legitimately inviting. I mean, because you know, if it was one-time thing, like, hey, you know, maybe you could just be like, okay, maybe he's just being nice. But this guy targets 16-year-old girls on a consistent basis. And
there's a lot of things he could have done to help her out if her home life was bad than her moving in with them.
Well, number one, why the fuck are you, you know what I mean? Like,
what is that your first go-to is, yeah, come live with us, 14-year-old. Like, weird. It's weird.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. It's fucked up.
Gives people less scope to pick them apart, and if people tried to pry too much, he'd be able to accuse them of being intrusive and not respecting Sarah's privacy. How dare you do that? But hey, you know, it was a misguided favor maybe, but nothing remotely implicative, and anyone claiming so were creeps. You people were the real perverts. This man who has done nothing more than direct his own fetish films has kindly taken in a 16-year-old from a troubled household. You should be grateful that he's out here doing God's work.
But because you guys are so perverted and because your minds are so screwed up, you just make up all these creepy scenarios and you go spreading them around the internet as if they're the truth. So to those people, understand that I'm consistently disgusted about the fantasies that you create inside your head about my life.
Yeah.
What a fucking gaslighting motherfucker.
And that's why YouTube, a lot of YouTube creators, a lot of big YouTube creators were like, and they started pointing out everything.
Yeah, it wasn't Chris Hansen. He didn't come down and save the fucking day. Like, holy fuck.
You stick it to them, Gregory. You put them in their place. All this around the same time as this drama that Billy and Ayala are stirring quite frantically, it all becomes quite hard to follow for many viewers. But the facts remain that something was up. In February 2017, Kai and Sarah conducted a live stream to decry the allegations, and generally Onision and Party were mainly focused on preventing this perception from spreading.
I don't understand like how I can make this more clear that we're just best friends. We've never like done anything. We've never like been in a relationship together. We've never like had any inappropriate like physical ends or whatever. Like we've hugged.
So not too long after, Sarah went back to her home. But then she came back less than a couple months later in April, and then she went home again. And a few months later, she came back again in August. And then she went home again in November.
So if any of you see someone spreading creepy, perverted things that they made up in their mind about my life, about Lainey's life, about Sarah's life, you can send them the link to this video to expose how incredibly stupid and gross they are.
In the video defending his perspective, Onision creates this straw man that people have a problem with the fact that they're living with a 16-year-old, which I'm not sure is the core issue.
First, hey Nonsense, hey Queen Bee. Welcome to the chaos. Was Shiloh underage as well? Yeah, Shiloh was underage, but not as underage as Billy here. Billy was
Yeah, Billy was talking and having communications with Kai. I think she was like 18 or 19. No, Kai was 18 or 19. She was 14.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, let me see.
Billy was 14.
Yeah, Billy was definitely 14. I'm trying to remember how old was Kai at that time. Let me see. One moment.
It's so weird because we have to do the math, but mind you, Kai is a victim too.
Yeah, basically she is a victim of, Onision. She was groomed as well, but then she's being used. She's grooming other girls for him. So, I mean...
Oh, thank you for listening and joining us, Nonsense.
How you doing, Nonsense? Yeah, I mean, this guy's a real creep.
No, he is. He's fucking horrible. Horrible. I don't even know what he does now. Like, he can't make that much on OnlyFans.
I don't even want to look in his...
No.
Oh, God.
No.
The guy's... I mean, like, I can't believe this guy has a YouTube channel. Like, honestly, in my opinion, this guy is, like, way worse than a lot of the people we covered.
Yeah, his YouTube channels are still there, but they're not... But it's still the fact of, why are you still giving this person an option for a platform?
I don't know. I don't know why they're giving him an option. I don't know why they don't ban his ass.
There's a lot of people who have been banned on YouTube for stupid shit that they shouldn't have been banned for. But yeah, Onision gets, the golden ticket.
Yeah, well...
Put, when someone is a rich, famous, influential YouTuber, even if they are unpopular or controversial, they still hold a level of power. I don't think that people, especially the YouTube community, with its incredible diversity within reason, have a problem with people casually hanging out with others of different ages if they have a similar level of mobility. When I worked in retail in my teens, I would hang out with older individuals and there was no tension. The situation here is that people know the implications. When Sarah first left after the set of controversies involving Billy, Onision made this video basically blaming everyone else while making some very interesting comments himself.
You could say we are kicking Sarah out, but I don't consider that the case. It's more like just sending her home. And it's not exactly anyone's fault unless like the internet were a person, and then it might be the internet's fault. Because really, if the internet wasn't weirdly involved with everything going on, then things would most likely be fine.
What a gaslighting motherfucker. I have to say, like, he's the king of fucking gaslighting.
Would stir up outrage and...
he would get ahead of everything, too.
Yeah, okay, so let's go to 2019. Let's see.
2019, in which she argues in their favor.
People are saying that we had sexual conversations or were planning on having sexual relations when I was underage, and we never did. I don't know why people are now saying this and bringing up old screenshots that have already been addressed, but Kai is one of the sweetest people I know, and he doesn't deserve this, and it's not fair to me, and it's not fair to him, and I wish this would all stop.
Assumedly, this is what left many people rather quiet at the time. However, something that both Greg and Sarah knew was that eventually Sarah would reach a stage of mobility and sanity where she wouldn't necessarily be confined by the same chains. And at a point, she would have the option to break free. It was just a case of whether she'd let herself. Let's talk about it more.
Also stated to me, she remembered saying something about her one day being in a relationship with Lainey, and that was super confusing to me as I had made it clear to the public, as you've seen in previous videos. And I also made it clear repeatedly to Sarah that was never going to happen. So seeing Sarah say these things really freaked me out. I mean, she's 16, I'm 31, this is creepy.
Yes, that delightful one. It's a bad enough clip as it is, but why on earth would he bring attention back then to these details when no one else was aware of them? Well, in my opinion, it was because he knew he'd eventually be called back on these details, and having already addressed them as confidently as he did, he could say, see, I already spoke about this and no one challenged me on it. Not even Sarah. Onision always wanted to be one step ahead of...
Yeah, that's true. Let me just go here.
Have avoided making a concerted effort to take Onision down. This does not mean there hasn't been drama, but it means that the scattershot nature of it subjected this misery to return to these videos. They probably began to buy into Onision 19, and with the help of other individuals, she moved in. As mentioned in the 5 stages of Onision relationships, once Greg has given up trying to win you back, he'll go in the opposite direction and relentlessly smear you. In some ways, this wasn't any different with Sarah. Less than a month after Sarah broke up with him, on his Patreon, he uploaded a video called I Need to Talk About BPD, where he frames anyone suffering from the disorder as suffering from memory issues and thus being untrustworthy in their narratives. Now, at the time, Onision was under the impression that Sarah had BPD. This was revealed to not be the case, so his point wouldn't have stood anyway, but the intent remained the same. Although this was a clear attempt to keep his main donors on his side, he didn't actually go public with this. Like with many other females, hoping to win her back. Maybe it was because he was worried that the public would bring attention to him. Maybe he felt like he had already covered himself in the past. Maybe he didn't think he had that much to gain from his public viewers. Maybe...
Let me just see something. I swear there's so many interesting AK dangerous careers on YouTube. I just started branching out into some of the bigger channels, and it's disappointing, honestly. Yeah, there's a lot of that, and I don't know why, but he just keeps me bad vibes. He also looks younger than what he is. Yeah, well, this guy is very weird. I mean, we went through that. He tried to start his own religion.
Sorry, my cat knocked over my microphone.
Well, you know, it happens. He tried to start his own religion. It was weird. He has basically gaslit. He is basically fucked with. He kept on going after 16-year-olds. This, I think, was the first 1, 2, 3, 4. What was this? This is the 4th in this line so far, or 5th?
Of women?
Of 16-year-olds that he went after that was
This is the
public.
4th. This is the 4th.
The 4th.
The 16-year-old, but one of them was 14.
Yeah, one was 14. Yeah, but he's very smart about how he just basically makes sure not to sleep with them until the age of legal. So he grooms them, he brings them over, and then when it's time to go out, sleep with them, he sleeps with them.
He started YouTube back in 2006?
Yes.
Around there. He was very online out
Yeah,
there
he got
even before YouTube. Like he made websites and
back then he was the top 100 YouTube channel. He was basically the top largest. He got his famous because of a song. He got really famous because of a song called "I'm a Banana."
Oops, sorry.
In which he was in a banana outfit singing "I'm a banana, look at me now." And then he got 90 million views from that, and then that was shown on Tosh 2.0. And that's how it got into wider range. And then basically that's how he got into his second relationship with Shiloh. Actually, no, it was and by the way, to correction, 5th one, because he tried to sleep with his first wife, 15-year-old sister in a party.
Yeah.
So that was his 5th person that he tried to sleep with under the age of 16.
I just put a timeline link to Onision, and it stops at 2017. It starts from when he was born, and it stops at 2017. But during 2017 is when people started pointing out the grooming, the weirdness, the erratic behavior, and all that stuff. So you can find all that till now, anywhere on YouTube. Anywhere on YouTube.
Yeah, you can just type in Onision and you will find a plethora of videos.
Yeah.
And the main reason why I'm covering this because, as we mentioned earlier, not only is he being sued, but also YouTube is named in the lawsuit for the alleged grooming and for YouTube kind of allowing this guy to, use their platform to groom multiple, in my opinion, children. And they're part of the lawsuit. Now, are they going to win? I don't know. I am not a lawyer. Probably a question left better to lawyers. You never know with lawsuits. I think they're going against a Goliath when it comes to YouTube. And, Onision's as broke as a joke and has spent all his money. But it's an interesting situation that's occurring. So that's one of the reasons we're talking about it. And we figured we'd give people an idea of who Onision is based on this. Because it could be an interesting situation. That's the Rolling Stones article.
Shane Dawson is another character. He's another character, but he's not. I don't personally think he's as bad as Onision.
Yeah, and the video we're watching, by the way, because we dropped it in earlier, but it's from the Right Opinion. It's he did a great documentary a couple of years ago. This is what we're watching. We're just kind of doing a timeline from beginning to his career to now and going through the relationships, because this is going to be a part 1 and there's going to be a part 2 of this probably Thursday. And more current, but we need to get lay the foundation because there's a lot to this guy. I mean, there's a situation where one of his kids fell out a window and he decides to instead of actually trying to call the ambulance, to film his child.
He fell out a 2-story. What's a 2-story?
Yes, he fell out of his 2-story house, and he decides his best option is to film it because he was afraid that people would think that he abused his child.
Which makes me think that you do abuse your child. That's my opinion. Because if you're that worried about it,
or you're fucked in the head, I don't know.
There's just something, and that's when all the influx of calls to the police station happened. Because mind you, while all this has happened, Kai, or Lucas, whatever you want to say, Kai had 2 babies with Greg here, with Onision. So there's children in this environment while everything is going on that we've talked about. So kind of put that into the mix.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe these were all valid reasons. And even though he was probably right in that regard, he had a lot more to lose because for the first time, he had left an open goal for Sarah to take control of that public narrative. And when you have as many enemies as Onision, any error could be fatal. And his handling of this particular one was just that. Onision knew that his comments would provoke. Maybe he was hoping that if he provoked her into stating these allegations in response to his comments that he'd made about BPD, he would be able to publicly frame her as unhinged, and thus proving his point. The idea of, look at this girl, I told you she was mentally unstable, and now she's gone and proven it by accusing me of these heinous things that...
What do you want me to hold on for? Tony?
No. I'm dealing with my cat. You can keep playing.
The cat's trying to stop us from continuing. I see how it is.
I would never do, and she never said I'd do either. It was Onision at his most manipulative, but it was also Onision at his most stupid, because instead of allowing herself to be isolated in a sort of personal spat, she vowed to never be silenced and organized a response that would eventually start a domino effect of seismic proportions. Onision had enemies. That much is true. It was like a list, and he just couldn't stop adding to it over the years.
Now, Repzion was actually the first person, I think he really was the first one to really cover a lot of the bad actions by
yeah, he was.
By Onision. And he really, I mean, you could probably find like 55 videos on Onision on this channel, maybe. I don't know. He made so many. Repzion. I think it's Repzion, but yeah. Repzion. Repzion. Yeah, you're right. The guy with the emo hair guy. Yeah.
Yeah, the blonde. Yeah.
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 An expansive list of enemies will affect.
No, my cat was attacking my foot.
Shane Dawson used to work with Onision early on. They did collaborations, but basically, because they both kind of looked alike at the time. And they were big, and they were big YouTubers. And Sean Nelson's still a big YouTuber. He still has millions of views, and he's, he has like a trend. Yeah, he has a trend where he goes up and then he goes down and then he goes up and he goes down because of like old controversy comes out, and he gets millions of views. So Shane Dawson's still around, but back then in this particular time they kind of feuded with each other. Nabler, Nabber, he made videos as well on him as well. This British kid.
Affect many people in different ways. I think for Onision, though, it made him complacent. For many, they will be afraid of making enemies, particularly for the grudges that may be held and how that may be used against people in the future. I think at a point, Onision began to feel that no matter how...
Yes, he liked to fat shame people and rape people's bodies and make fun of them. It's just that's why you're seeing the overweight woman with the Pepsi, the Diet Coke.
Many enemies he had, they didn't levy any particular power over him because the audience he held at close quarters was so unbelievably loyal, he could essentially get away with anything. But in August 2019, this was beginning to turn. Let's reintroduce Ayala. We obviously know Ayala from the Billy situation, but she decided to be the person to start the ball rolling on the new set of allegations, this time being the first to publicly call Onision out for his behavior with Sarah, tweeting that Onision had sexual intercourse with her. Now, obviously, this could be considered inappropriate given it was probably Sarah's story to tell, but Sarah quickly came forward corroborating Ayala's statement.
Imagine being scared of a 19-year-old girl.
This was then followed by statements which implied they were working together and that they were going to be delivering swift justice to Onision. This was then followed by a stream in which Sarah talks in a lot of depth regarding her relationship with Gregory. And as this followed through into the next few weeks, the Rolling Stone finally gathered momentum. There were a lot of allegations, each holding their own weight, regarding what both Onision and Kai did to Sarah while she was living.
One time when I was 16, Greg made me feel so bad about being a virgin that I started crying. Interesting. Let me just read that. Nonsense, intriguing, scary episode. Especially if you're a girl mom like us. Even more so if you're a girl mom. Yeah, it's something to pay attention to because there's a lot of characters. Like I heard an incident years ago where a YouTuber went to jail for this, but he luckily he went to jail. But he basically was grooming. He was asking girls to do like booty shakes, like literally like teenage girls and younger to do booty shakes for him or something like that, and he would rape them. And he eventually went to jail for this because he rightfully should go to jail for that. And he did this and he posted on his YouTube. I know he was doing this all on YouTube, and he was communicating with these underage girls. And I think this guy was in his 20s. I'm trying to remember. Let me try to remember what it was. But yeah, you see a lot of groomers like this on YouTube and a lot of forums, like a lot of online forums.
And it's sick because it's on YouTube, it's on TikTok, it's on anybody who has the power and the fame. It seems, sadly, they take,
Oh yeah, okay. It was Jones. Yeah, he got 10 years. Yeah, he got 10 years.
YouTube should be held. My personal opinion is YouTube was fully aware about Onision for years before Chris Hansen.
Yeah, so can I read? Jones admitted to, this is the guy who I'm speaking of. Jones admitted to enticing 6 underage girls to make pornographic videos of themselves and send them to him. According to a plea agreement, the girls were as young as 14. He pleaded guilty in February, and Friday, a U.S. District Judge, and this was 2019, Judge John Z. Lee sentenced him to 10 years in federal prison. So yeah, there's a lot of people like Onision that's on that will do things like this, and the only difference is Onision is smart enough to avoid what that guy did to go to jail. Julia, I agree with her. The girls, I'm just glad many of them can't figure out how they've not been held accountable. I don't know how they're not being held accountable, but they're being sued, so we'll see. We'll go through that probably next episode.
There's a lot. Mind you, the whole lawsuit is about 3 months ago. It started up, so we might not have everything, but we can always do an update video in the future when things are, but we will talk about the lawsuit more on Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Living with them. These claims reflect what many people had cited as concerns when
you're so mature for your age. I feel like I'm hanging around a 20-year-old. So this is gaslighting, saying, "Oh, you're old for your age." The usual thing they tell a 16-year-old.
People originally took issue with Onision's behavior, but few had sought to push him further due to lack of information. Now, there was more information, and the claims were just as bad as many have believed. In fact, everything that was claimed fits into the worldview that Onision had presented. For example, this screenshot which claimed that Onision took pleasure in various sexual behavior that once again appears to fit in with that cuckold fancy clip we played earlier. It seems that Onision once again appears to fit in with that.
Oh no, the guy keeps on going a little bit too fast. I just wanted to point out something. This is stupid. I loved making love to both of you. I loved seeing you satisfy Kai. I loved making out with you while. Holy fuck.
Yeah,
which
so
claimed that
clearly
Onision
there
took
was
pleasure
some
in
shenanigans.
Yeah, holy fuck.
Sexual behavior that once again appears to fit in with that cuckold fancy clip we played earlier. It seems that Onision enjoys screwing around with relationships and fantasies that involve rather deplorable behavior.
Yeah, this is Billy.
blue hair, yes.
With the blue hair. This is not Sarah, and this is another person.
That's Kai.
That Kai groomed into the relationship, and then he tried to sleep with Billy. I don't know
By
if
the text message, it seems they kind of
yeah. So, like, this is like, as he gets older, he uses his younger husband, and the reason why we're referring to his husband is because she's transitioned or to male, and we're using the word we're using the name Kai's because that's the name that they're known. If we use the other name, you won't know who we're talking about.
Yeah, I won't be necessarily singling too many examples out because at the end of the day, they all tell the story we expect it to. But quite simply put, Onision was grooming younger individuals for sexual purposes, and he was using his relative power to their powerlessness to tighten his grip and solicit what he wanted from them. I also wanted to focus on
Greg and I talked about Kai was in New Mexico, use it against me. Holy fuck.
Oh, I see what he did. See. Nothing to say. Nothing nice to say.
Yeah, he said, let me see. It's disappointing in all more reason. We need to be more protection for users on all forms of social media, including YouTube.
Exactly.
Well,
you
gotta laugh.
About the YouTube Kids thing?
Which one?
So there is protection for people as much as they can do right now, and they had YouTube Kids.
Yeah, but that's.
But mind you, Greg was making a couple videos that were directed in YouTube Kids. So if your kid had a YouTube Kids account, chances are they could have saw the duck video, which was Onision's video.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
On this string of tweets that Sarah made on September the 3rd. Now, on the one hand, this may seem like someone making a variety of claims in addition to what they'd already gone public with. But to me, this was the breaking of a wall that Onision has regularly used against people. Remember what I said about Onision's smear campaign with people like Billy, for example. He would regularly cite the fact that they conducted some behavior that Onision deemed as morally inadequate. It would not...
Yeah. So, I think you wanted to. This is the video. Is this the video talking about the video that says the duck with the stinky time?
The Jacqueline Glenn one.
No, this is the video you're talking about. The YouTube Kids one.
Yeah, it's marketed to YouTube Kids, and yeah, right. See, that's
Is
the
this?
thing.
Look at your Discord.
Hold on.
Is that the video you're talking about?
I'm trying to look at it. The Stinky Duck song.
Okay, so that's the video that was on YouTube Kids. Okay, so this was the just so people know what we're talking about.
And responding to nonsense. Yeah, that's the thing. It's such a big rabbit hole when it comes to Onision, and the shitty part is, at the end of the day, we can sit back after the stream and go, "Wow, how many young women did he really fuck with their head?" Look at Shiloh for an example.
Yeah. There's a lot more going. I just want to show them the image. I stopped sharing. Can you do the share screen again?
I wonder if he drew that himself.
He probably did. So this is what he put down. YouTube Kids.
This is for kids, mind you. So your kid could find this video.
Or could have if it wasn't.
There once was a duck. He was so stinky. He was so stinky, some thought he was icky. The duck went to town, and there was a cow. The cow said, "You're stinky. Man, you're so icky." It's a...
Yeah. So...
Even the voice screams, "Predator!" Like, it's just, the voice is just so weird.
This huge hole it's diving into. It's a very big hole. We haven't even scratched the surface, to be honest with you.
No.
There's a lot more we're going to cover. That's why it's a two-parter. Matter of fact, we have to end soon. We probably
Oh
should
yeah,
stop
we
it
are
here.
way over. That's the thing.
We're going to do a continuation to go into a more deep dive into Sarah's relationship, maybe go into the Chris Hansen interview and maybe more shenanigans that this guy has done, and then maybe discuss a little bit about the lawsuit, maybe pull up the complaint in the lawsuit and read that, and maybe we'll get done by next episode. Maybe there'll be a three-parter. Who knows? This guy's a deep dive.
It is Onision.
But yeah, it's not good. Not good. Sure. It's interesting deep dive. But I mean, I hope the lesson is learned that there's 100 guys like there's probably 1,000 guys like Onision on right now doing the exact same thing. So basically, be careful. And I don't know if this lawsuit, we'll see if this lawsuit will follow this lawsuit and see if it actually has any legs to it. And maybe it will. Maybe, this will make YouTube stop profiting from groomers. Basically like stop allowing these groomers on their platform so they can just get these impressionable kids. But anyway, thank you for watching. We're going to do part 2 on Thursday. I know we're kind of cutting off right in the middle, but there's a lot more to it, and we can't do 3-4 hour streams. But
yeah. So we're going to do part 2 on Thursday. But I just want to thank you all for joining us. I do appreciate every single one of you, and also joining into the conversation, because Onision is a conversation we should be having more so for you guys. People out there with kids, young kids, could also have a conversation with their kids about the safety of online and reaching out to your heroes.
Yeah.
Because they could be an Onision,
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, you have a good one. Thanks for watching.
You guys have a good one. And
you could share. You could share anything.
Go for it. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But y'all keep safe out there. We'll see you on Thursday.
Bye.